friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. That was Wicked Westy, West Coast Swing. We are going to be working together on some fun stuff, which is super cool, and I'm really excited. I brought that was actually the Walksnail drift car chasing rig for no props in view. And also for zero up tilt, running at zero up tilt, I have a lot of ability to move forward and backwards. When you have a bunch of up tilt and you're trying to film subjects like that, you're basically either flying towards them or orbiting them, and that gets a little bit old. So the zero up tilt thing lets you kind of come down and then generate some rearwards momentum, and it just really opens things up. So yeah, that was very, very fun. There are like 20 fans in there all around the room, and they were just beating the hell out of me. But tonight I brought I brought this guy, and then I also brought the 75mm Freestyle-ish 1S rig, and I just wanted to see what's what. I wanted to take a look at like how much light was in that room, how realistic it was to kind of fly around. Does the West Coast Swing is a slower dance, and yeah, does it mix? And it does. A couple of the earlier batteries I flew, I had more room and two of the really high level dancers, and it's really, really fun. I have just enough of an education in West Coast Swing to be able to like see things coming. And so I can kind of see that they're about to separate, and then I can get on a path where I can fly in between them and stuff. And then we already kind of started talking about like how we could communicate back and forth to make that even easier and do some even more fun stuff. Like one of the things I really want to do is like fly below in between, and then power loop back and then snap forward with that rearward momentum and just like kind of ride it backwards. So basically go under, two sets of arms outstretched, go under, power loop over. But then instead of going back under the arms where you're not getting your subject, just use that rearward momentum. So you just have this cool little moment where you like go in between and everybody's like, oh, cool. But then you frame the shot back up. Really cool little challenge. I love, one of the things I love most about cinematic flying gigs is like, how do we use these things as like the ultimate, totally three-dimensional camera platform? And yeah, some of the rules of like some of the rules the camera rules that we've had forever when they've been on dollies or just on tripods or even on gimbals. Yeah, we can break some of those rules since we're completely free to move around three-dimensional space. And yeah, how do we do that, right? How do we do that in a way that looks cool, but also isn't like... I try not to do stuff that's kind of gimmicky, right? Like, so the trippy spins, for example, in my opinion, trippy spins are kind of gimmicky. They don't look good. They don't make any sense. It's just like a kind of like a, hey, look at me sort of move. Which, I mean, you could call a lot of the tricks that we do, hey, look at me tricks. They're fun to do, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, from a cinematic standpoint, there is a lot of stuff in FPV that makes absolutely no sense. I'm all for trying to, like, find ways for that stuff to make sense. But, like, a trippy spin, for example, like, that's rough. You'll be hard-pressed to work that into something that doesn't make a non-FPV viewer want to vomit. But, hey, that's just me. Titan was first in the chat. LO the Kiddison. Can I get a channel? Curtis Hayes, Frank Nicholas, Dexter, CMYK, Rockworth, Free Lojo, Cloudhopper, Walter Van Den, or Doubles FPV. Titan again. Smoking Dog Cujo, McMucus, Curtis Hayes, Terry Burnett, Adam Weston, Bob Bruce, Scotty Scott. Who else is here? Dave S. 661. I think I got everybody. Shoot to miss. Nope, almost. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming. I'm going to fly 10, maybe 11, maybe 12 tiny whoops tonight. And get a bunch of them a little bit more dialed in than they currently are. So you'll get to see me do a little bit of tuning, probably some troubleshooting. I have two that I just switched the motors on that I need to drop into Betaflight and get the motor spin in the right direction. Yeah. And then we're also going to test a bunch of Runcam Nanos. I've got 4 sitting right here on my left, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 Runcam Nanos. There are apparently 4 or 5 different versions of the Runcam Nano, and they all look slightly different. I'm super curious to... I've never actually done this. I've never just plugged one in after the other, after the other, after the other, to really see what the differences are between them. So I'm kind of excited. This will be fun. It would be nice to have a... Is one of these things taken apart? No, they're all put together. Wow, I don't have a single Cinewhoop that's in pieces right now. That's shocking. Hold on. There's a light missing. How is that possible? There has to be at least one 2G4 floating around. For the 5 cameras that are just sitting here, I would really love to just have a 2G4 that I can plug them into real quick. But I don't know. Apparently I've done too good of a job at putting everything together. Hey, I flew the 2S Walksnail rig on BetaFPV 1102 18,000s at like 85% throttle limiting. It absolutely blasts. This thing is a weapon with 1102s. Like to the point where I'm immediately feeling mechanical sympathy for the AIO. The AIO does have 12 amp FETs. So 12 times 4, which is going to be 48. There's no way in hell this is going to pull 48 amps. So it should be totally fine. But like, wow, does it have some power? That should be on this memory card, actually. Hey, also, I might do a... I'll see how I feel at midnight. But I might do a Patreon-only live stream after this, where I dive into some of the footage from Wicked Westy and start chopping it up. I want to try to get a super quick, super simple little edit done for them. Yeah, like now-ish. And so we're going to be messing around with that. Where is... I just put the... I think I just took the memory card out that I wanted to have in there. This is a Walksnail rig. This was the Walksnail memory card that was in there. I have a funny feeling I might have deleted the flight file. Let me see. Avatar 000. Oh, nope, this is it. Is this it? This might be it. I think this is it. Is this it? Let's see. What color are the ducts? Clear? Hey, this is it. So here you go. Here's the 75mm Walksnail rig on the 2S rig on BetaFPV 1102 18,000s. Just look at, like, just notice how dialed it is. Like, it's the response time on the 2S rig is so good that it gives this incredible confidence. Like, when you fly a 5-inch rig and it's just like it's on top of everything, it's always there, it's always like everything you do, it's like it almost feels like it's ahead of you. That's what this is starting to feel like. Cinewhoops don't... Sometimes they feel like that. If you get a high enough kV motor and you get them light enough, they feel like that. But 75mm Cinewhoops for sure do not feel like this when they're on 1S. This is the best 75mm flight experience I've ever had. This is me turning up the P and D gains a little bit, so it'll be even more locked in at this point. But yeah, just take notice of just kind of like how dialed it is. It's always right there, and it just like I don't fly it like the other. I fly this much more like a non-ducted rig because of that. Like when I'm flying tiny whoops around out in front of the house, like I usually kind of fly them like a tiny whoop, which I mean, like what's that mean? But you're kind of looking at it like this rig has enough power where I can just kind of go out and explore. Like it feels more like I'm flying a 3-inch or a 2.5-inch school bus style rig. This might be me adding even more P&D gain. It probably is because I just did that front flip. And so yeah, super happy with it. The iFlight 803s are not the move. First and foremost, they're way too fragile. But these 1102s just, yeah, they're better in kind of every way than those iFlight 0803s. I'm looking forward to getting the sub 250 0803 19,000s back on here. They at least have a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, and they're yeah, a lot stronger. I am noticing there is at a certain throttle value there is some vibrations here. Like it was just there. I'll try to pause it. There you go. So right now there is some serious vibrations going on. Look how muddy this all is. I've had issues with in the past with these BetaFPV 1102s either being not very well balanced right out of the box, or after like one or two crashes, the motor shafts get bent or whatever. That was back in the days of the tiny lifter. Things have changed a little bit, but still, that's something I'm going to be paying really close attention to. Is why is this freezing like this? Oh, because there was a crash. Right. Yeah, that's something I'm going to be paying attention to, is which of these different motors are the best balanced. These three all have 1.5 millimeter motor shafts. So as long as the manufacturers of these motors aren't cheaping out on the material that the motor shafts are made of, they should all be the same. But we've already seen with like Happy model motors versus some of the other 1 millimeter motor shaft motors, there is definitely a difference in how strong the metal that some of these guys are using for the motor shafts is. And so there's no reason that shouldn't also carry over to 1.5. You would think that a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft is thick enough, even if it's made of a shitty metal, to kind of hold up. I don't know. I mean, the only way to find that out is just keep smashing these things and be as mindful as possible about how frequently those motor shafts are getting kind of bent up. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, at the moment it's on BetaFPV 1102 18,000s. I think the next set of motors that's going to go on it are the T-Motor 1002 18,000s. And then because these are the first set of motors I tested, so I haven't run these in a while. Also, these are very, very close in stator size to these 1102s. So, you know, these two setups, 1002 versus 1102, this is going to be the most subtle between them. But I'm really interested in which one is better. And then the 803 motors, I basically think the deal with the 803 motors is they get too hot. The iFlight Zing 803s, I could definitely tell that they were getting too hot, and they were losing efficiency. There'd be moments where like it was kind of obvious when the motors were cool, it would eat all the prop wash. If I'd just been hard on the throttle and I put the rig into prop wash, it wouldn't be able to handle the prop wash. That's like such an easy way to know that the motors are getting too hot. But these 803s are significantly lighter. So I would love it if I could make this thing work on the 803s, because I am trying to keep the weight down as much as possible since this is a freestyle rig and I want it to crash as good as possible. But like just as an example, the T-Motor 1002s, the frame and the motors, these are the same frames, same prop, same everything. 17.3 grams right here. The 803s, 16.5 grams. So not a huge difference, but if we would compare it to the 1102s, it would be an even bigger difference. And, you know, a rig that weighs 25 grams all up, if you take a gram off, that's significant. So yeah, cool stuff coming. I just got to keep putting batteries through this thing. Hopefully it holds up this time. It's looking like it will. And we'll have the best motors figured out before we know it. Is that heat shield? So one of the things I'm going through with this rig is that I didn't remove the heat shield from this Walksnail VTX, and that means, and what I think is happening is I think the heat shield is hitting the plug header for the USB on the AIO. And that's not great. So I'm just backing these screws off a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, now there's a gap. I backed these screws off just enough. There was a little tiny bit of weirdness on this thing, so maybe that's what it was. Jesus, why is this side so much lower? You have to make sure that the screws on the left and right side of your AIO on this build are tightened down the same amount, because otherwise the camera is going to be sideways, and boy, does that wreck your ability to fly accurately. So yeah, there you go. There was a little bit of footage. Did I do another battery on it? I did. Here's the battery I flew right before that, just to give you a little bit more flight footage from the 2S Walksnail 75 rig. I know that's the build that like the majority of you guys are super interested in right now. So yeah, here you go. Just attacking the tree for no real reason. You can really see the vibrations up in here. There it is. Look how muddy that is. It's at like a very specific throttle value. Just going into the tree. There it was. Yeah, you can really see it there. I don't know if it's coming through the stream, but it's pretty nasty. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up an orange for me, and I'll see that you're talking to me, and I'll talk back. You can also do a super chat, or you can head on over to CiottiFPV.com, and both support me. No, that's all you're going to do. No, you can buy yourself some stuff. Patreon helps me out the most, and you're going to get all kinds of benefits. Etsy has a bunch of really fun stickers, hardware, and some like full builds that are tuned and upgraded and all kinds of stuff going up on Etsy. I got a whole coffee table full of stuff that's waiting as well. So I've put like probably 20 new things up on Etsy in the last couple of weeks. There's at least another 20, maybe 30 things sitting on the coffee table. So check back on the Etsy store as often as you can, because there's just going to be more and more stuff going up there. Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me if you really want to take this seriously and start to learn a lot. This is your best way of doing it. Teespring has some really fun shirts and other random apparel. PayPal button if you want to do a super chat, but you don't want YouTube to take 30%. And then look at all these affiliate links, my friends. Amazon, GetFPV, Pyro Drone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, We Bleed FPV, BetaFPV, FPV Cycle, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HDZero Flywoo, Emax, Banggood Camera Rotor, AliExpress. If you're ordering from any one of those websites, they all have affiliate programs. Use someone's affiliate link. It's free money, and it'll help the people that you watch on YouTube eat and keep the electricity on. Keep the electricity on in their houses. So do it, my friends. Do it. Appreciate everything you guys do. How can I help you, Teddy? You're looking at me very expectantly. What do you expect me to do for you right now, dog? Oh, God. What do you want? Teddy, what do you want? What do you want from the live stream? Is there something that we can help you with, buddy? Can we help you? Hey, here Here he comes. What's up, little buddy? He just ate a big old piece of turkey that Maggie left on the coffee table within the reach of the dog. So somebody's going to have mad cha-chas. And apparently we're going to get hammered by a hurricane. I'm sure it'll slow down. We're in like kind of northern Georgia. I'm sure it will slow down by the time it gets to us. But yeah, there's a hurricane coming. I'll be all right though. Already had a little bit of flooding in the front of the house, but that's because I didn't clear the leaves off the corner of the house because I didn't think it was going to rain today. I was like, I got plenty of time to put a Cinewhoop up there and blow the leaves away. Nope. Started pouring like hell. Can I get a channel tag me with a thumbs up and a peace? CMYK said, what's up, party people on CiottiFPV? Dexter says, that's about keeping fling bang bong finger blap beep bop. That's what he said. Dexter also said, I'll ask my question before I sleep, and I'll hear responses tomorrow when I wake up. Wondering for 6 months why those people who shoot cinematic footage always use Brother Hobby TC1404. They seem to have something special about them. I couldn't find anything. They are very lightweight. Wait, no. Yeah. TC? Hold on. Are those the green ones? Yeah, those are the green ones. They are very light. These are some of the only micro motors that use a titanium motor shaft. So yeah, these are very lightweight, which might be why. My guess, though, more so than that, would be Monkey See, Monkey Do. The first person that built a rig like that used these motors, and then everybody else just copied off of their build formula. Because yeah, there's nothing special about these Brother Hobby motors. This style of Brother Hobby motor here actually, so the predecessor to these green ones were the VY, the Brother Hobby VY line, and that's the first time that micromotors got titanium motor shafts. Then they discontinued those because, I guess sales dropped off by 1%, changed the color, and introduced a new motor that's exactly the same to get more people to buy them. On the old school ones, the motor shafts and bells would part company. I'm not going to say frequently, but more than other motors. So I've never done one of these green Brother Hobby motors because I had a bad experience with the VYs that these are based on, slipping motor shafts. So I would recommend that you actually avoid these. And if you need a 1404 4600, get the T motor, which performed the best in Rosser's testing. And I've pounded the living hell out of and run hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of batteries through, and I've not had one single one slip a motor shaft. So I would say stay away from these. Maybe when they changed from the VY to this design, maybe they changed the way that the motor shaft is welded, adhered, whatever you want to say, to the bell. But I doubt it. It looks exactly the same. It very well could be. But yeah, I mean, they didn't put a C-clip on top. They didn't, I don't know. It's very hard to tell. Also, Brother Hobby ripped Bob Rugi off real bad when he was having motors done with him, and at that point I decided that I'll never buy another Brother Hobby motor because they were just completely unreasonable. He gave him a set of specs. They sent him a set of prototype motors that were designed to those specs and performed really well. He sent them tens of thousands of dollars to do a production run. The production run of motors were made to different specs that he did not give them. And he said, you're gonna remake this whole shit to the specs that we agreed on and that were the prototypes. And they basically said, screw you. We'll give you half your money back, but no more. And that's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable to change the spec between the prototype that is agreed upon and you know, tens of thousands of dollars that you've ordered. So Brother Hobby can go scratch as far as I'm concerned. Dexter also says, how much does the lightest 03 weigh plus Vista? Is there a huge difference in weight? I'm not sure, but you should just be able to like look that up. You should just be able to like look up on Pyrodrone or GetFPV or wherever naked 03 and then naked Vista, and the weights will be there, and away you go. My guess would be maybe like 8 grams difference between the two. That's my guess. Dexter also asks, Cinewhoop Tokyo frames and builds, are you familiar with it? And how they make their build insanely lightweight. I have heard of them before, but get out of there. Stop that. Get out of there. What are you doing in the garbage? Get out of that garbage. You bad. Don't look at me all cute like. Bad dog. Yeah, I've heard of them, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. There's no real magic though in terms of like frame design. The thickness of the carbon, and then how many cutouts you make basically are what's gonna determine how heavy that carbon is. So yeah, like Cinewhoop Tokyo doesn't have some magical pixie dust that makes their carbon fiber lighter. If it is, then it's going to be weaker. So yeah, when you see a manufacturer that has really lightweight frames, that's great, but really understand that those frames are going to be very, very fragile as well. There's no free lunch when it comes to carbon fiber. And yeah, there's not really like one kind of carbon fiber that's going to be drastically lighter unless it's drastically weaker. So yeah, when it comes to carbon fiber, like yeah, it kind of is what it is. All right. Where are we at here? Titan says, do you prefer the HQ YOLO props or the GemFan 1219S more, and why? I don't like one over the other. They're just different. The HQ ultralights are more fragile, but they're lighter weight and they're lower pitch, so they make less power. But since they're lower pitch and since they're lighter weight, you get better PID loop performance. You get better response time from them. The 1219S is more durable, a little bit heavier, more pitchy. So you're going to get more actual power out of them, but not quite as good response time. Here we go. Here we go. I took all the dog's toys upstairs, and so now begins the game of Teddy brings me a toy, stares at me for 2 to 3 minutes, decides like, oh, this must not be the toy that he wants to play with me with, runs back upstairs, gets another toy, runs down here, rinse and repeat. So that's what you've got coming to you for the next 20 minutes. So yeah, there isn't one that's better than another. They both do things differently and really well. Curtis Hayes says, I just sent you some PayPal for a private lesson. Figured do it that way instead of paying $5 or any commission. Very cool, man. Thank you for that. I see it. Shoot me a message somewhere, anywhere, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, with a couple days and brackets of time that you have free, and I'll find one that fits in my calendar, and I'll get back to you. We'll get it scheduled. Thank you, dude. Very, very cool of you. Scotty Scott says, I bought a Flylens 85 with 03 light. Love it. Flies great. My question is, when I hook it to Betaflight, I get no OSD tab. Any ideas? I know this is going to sound insulting as hell, but you probably left the OSD tab in configuration is probably not checked. I've done that myself too. Most of the time that OSD button is pre-flipped, so you like don't even think about it because it's like always on. But like every once in a while it'll either get turned off or like I don't know what happens, but yeah, sometimes it gets turned off and it's like, why wouldn't the OSD tab here? That's kind of the only thing that will cause the OSD tab to not show up. So go into configuration, I bet you that OSD switch is just turned off. Mick Mucus tore the u.f.l connector off the board on his new Air 75. Any tips on exposing the innermost wire in the replacement antenna I'm trying to solder on? So I use an X-Acto knife. Antennas are the outer silicone / plastic black insulation, and then inside of that is like a metal braid. That's the ground, and then inside of that is a big thick plastic surround, more insulation, and then inside that is the single, sometimes single strand, sometimes multi-strand core that is the where the signal actually passes. So you need both the, so then on the u.f.l, the u.f.l piece, like here's the round part in the middle, right? The u.f.l that sits on the board, it's got ground on the outside, and then the one single pin is the signal. So when you go to do that, nope, that's not the one. Where the hell's the, I have one that I've, it's the Mobula 6 2024, unfortunately. My V2 Mobula 6 2024, the u.f.l broke off. So that is what you're looking for. The single point there, that's the signal pin, but then you've also got to get the ground soldered to the outside there. Can you see it? I have a ton of E6000, but yeah, to the right of the signal part there, you can kind of see, and the braid is exposed. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind what you need to do. You need the inner signal wire to be the longest, and then you need the braid for the ground to be on the outside of that inner plastic core, and then you've got to trim away a little bit of the outer plastic silicone to expose the braid. So signal needs to be the longest, and then directly to the braid, and then the regular old wire after that. It's a little bit difficult to do, but you'll get it. And if you screw it up, you can just chop it and try again. You know, you've got like the whole length of the antenna to chop it and retry it as many times as you need to. Each time you do it, you're going to shorten the overall length of the antenna a little bit, which is not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. You'll be all right. Okay. Uh, 661 says, I was flying 75mm whoop and had the motor screws come loose mid-flight and the motor came off. Now I'm tightening all the motor screws on 15 whoops. Check your screws, kids. I've actually had to learn to stop over tightening my motor screws on whoops. The Newbie Drone motor mount bases are so thin that when you over tighten the screws, it smushes the plastic out, and it actually pushes the plastic into the area where the C-clip is, which can cause it to hit that C-clip and make the motor not spin. So yeah, that's the other side of what 661 is saying, is that make sure that you don't over tighten them. Loctite is not an option because they're mounted in plastic, and Loctite eats plastic, so you cannot Loctite them. I have been over tightening them forever, and I don't like gorilla crank them, and I use a tiny little screwdriver like this, but yeah, I give them a fair amount of twist, and I've actually never had one back out. So yeah, there's a sweet spot between over and under tightening. Having the screws fall out is your sign that you've been under tightening. So yeah, everybody has to. There's no way for me to tell or show you how tight to make those screws. So you gotta do that on your own. But yeah, keep in mind if you over tighten them, it's bad. So don't put your arm into it. Try to just tighten them like with your fingers, right? Like as soon as you start using your shoulder and your elbow and your arm, that's when you have the potential to over tighten. Just try to get the torque from your fingers. Hopefully that'll be about right. And then just pay attention, right? 661 got his lesson that he's been under tightening. Now he's going and retighten them. When you learn stuff the hard way, it's easy to remember it, right? But still, make sure you remember it. That's his sign, and now he knows, like, cool, I gotta crank him a little bit more. And now he's gonna be more dialed in than most of us, right? Like, I'm going the other direction. At some point, I'm gonna have a motor screw fall out or a whole motor fall off, and then I'll realize, like, all right, cool, now I'm going too late. I'll find my spot in between there. 661 says, there was one whoop I didn't need to check the screws, the brushed one. Nice. Stingray Zay says, affordable drum set recommendations. Absolutely no idea. But there are way more drumming related YouTube channels than FPV channels. I haven't been in the drum world in probably over 20 years. So I'm definitely not the guy to ask. What I can tell you though, almost certainly, is pick up something used. That is almost certainly, the right thing to do. Maybe not. Yeah. Find a, I'm sure that there is, like, hold on. I actually follow a drum channel where the guy tests stuff that's not super expensive. So he might be a good guy for you to check out. Where the hell is he? I can't find him. But yeah, like I said, there are way more drumming related YouTube. Here he is. Here he is. R. David R. Interesting channel name. I'm putting it in the chat. I like this guy a lot. He tests wacky stuff, but he also has a lot of budget stuff that he kind of talks about, and so yeah, he might be a good guy for you to watch. And he's watchable. He's not an obnoxious lunatic like some people on YouTube are. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up, Walter Van Den Ord says, "How is Teddy?" He's good, man. He's good. He's as insane as ever. Buddy, relax. Relax, little boy. No, I can't. Not a lot of good options for a dog cam. I don't want to pet you right now. Can you move over? Can you move over this way? Teddy, why? Why not let me push you? Why fight so hard? Down. Down. Lay down. Lay down. Right there. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? Isn't that a great spot to lay down? Yeah. Look at you. You're laying down now. Good boy. That's what good boys do. They lay right there. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, buddy. Go to sleep. Tiny Shark FPV says, quick explanation on whether to use 803, 1002, or 1102 for the 1S Walksnail build. There are no 803s that are high enough KV, so don't run those. 1002 versus 1102, what it really boils down to is that the BetaFPV 1102 22,000s are like kind of magic. They don't weigh. They weigh almost nothing extra versus the 1002 RC and powers. and they make more power, and they stay cooler. And so there's kind of no reason to run the RC Power 1002s. They're not enough lighter to make much of a difference. And so, yeah. The other cool thing about the 1102s is that they can crank the bigger prop. So if you go up to a 45 millimeter prop, those motors are going to handle it a lot better than the 1002 as well. So yeah, there you go. Danzel the Terrible says Teddy wants an update on the treat fund. Teddy, the treat fund is at $20, buddy. I think it's 20. It's at $20, buddy. You got a ways to go. You got expensive tastes. You stiff little bastard. This dog is so stiff. Look how stiff this dog is. Ready? This is how you can tell. This is the official way of telling if a dog is stiff. Come here. Just come. He knows I'm gonna get him. He knows he's about to get got. All right, lay down, buddy. Look at the stiffness. Ready? Watch the stiffness. Look at him. Look how stiff he is. His body is like it's like an I-beam. I'm used to cats. And like cats, if you try to do that with them, like their rear end will rotate like all the way over, and then you'll still have their head like backwards. It's crazy. But yeah, Teddy is a stiff boy. There'll be times where like on the couch, like he'll be on his back and he'll slide into like the little indentation of the couch. It'll take him like a full minute to get his ass out. He's just like like a bulldog, you know? What? What do you want? Okay. Got up on the chair. Sometimes he just looks at me with like a very expectant look. I'm like, what? Denzel the Terrible says, Northern Georgia, isn't that where they filmed The Hills Have Eyes? Maybe? They film a good amount of stuff here. They did a bunch of one of those zombie shows here. They filmed a lot of Ozark here. Cheetonian says, also ripped the u.fl off my Air 65 today, and it took the signal trace off the board with it. Well, you're pretty much done then, unfortunately. Hey, here's how you can not have that happen. I saw this last night on Facebook, that this is a thing. I didn't even realize it. This is actually some of the feedback that I gave to BetaFPV about this, which was basically, yo, you put the u.fl port so close to the frame that on the prototypes it would just knock the u.fl off. So I'd fly like half a battery and it would knock the u.fl off and I'd have no antenna. But yeah, this is how you fix that. That's what's happening. It's just kind of a bad design if we're really honest here. But yeah, you can cut that off, and according to the racers, that does not make it totally totally fragile. So that's how you fix that issue of it breaking the u.fl port off. Pretty not great oversight, if we're honest here, right? Because knocking the u.fl off, if it takes the signal trace with it, even if it doesn't take the signal trace with it, knocking a u.fl off is real bad. Like that's an AIO that for most people is immediately trash. So yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame for sure. Beat the dog! Let's play a game. It's called Beat the Dog. How much can we beat him before he leaves? An infinite amount is the answer. Teddy, god damn it, dude. Why do you do this every time? He just knocks shit everywhere. Can you not kick my stuff, dog? Please. Less kicking of my stuff. More... Oh god, you did it. Teddy! Dude! What are you doing? Stop it! Stop kicking my stuff. Cheetonian, that sucks, man. Contact whoever you got it from and say, yo, this is a thing that I... You're out. You're out. Upstairs. Go. Go. Upstairs. Upstairs. If you can't be a good boy, you can't be in here. I fixed it all, and he just did it again. He just grabs these build bags and just kicks them all over the place. I'm like, dude, like, there's fucking little tiny screws in there and shit. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what screws are. Yeah, get in touch with whoever you bought it from and just be like, yo, I'm seeing lots of people on Facebook having this same problem. Is there anything that you can do for me? I didn't do anything. I just flew the damn thing. Like, this is obviously manufactured wrong, right? And like, see if they'll do something for you, because that's ridiculous, dude. Like, it really is not your fault. Like, you are not required, in my opinion, to look over a build and be like, this u.fl port looks to be too close to this. I'm gonna have to trim off half the fucking plastic to make sure that it's not gonna break this, right? Like, that's insane. And that's not on you to troubleshoot a bad design decision, right? So yeah, get in touch with who you bought it from, because otherwise that AIO is done, and that's ridiculous, because you probably only have a couple batteries on it. Scotty Scott says, I tried the config tab. I did not see any OSD switch. This came from Flywoo as a bind and fly. Well, I guess it might not have an OSD chip on it. If it's meant for digital, one of the things that they're doing, Quad City Barrier, thank you for the super chat. I'll read the comment in a minute. They are starting to make AIOs that do not have OSD on board, specifically for digital rigs that use UART-based OSD. So maybe that's it. If there's no OSD switch to flip in the configuration tab, you could try reinstalling Betaflight and or updating Betaflight. I've never not had the OSD switch. So yeah, even if there wasn't an OSD chip on it, there should still be an OSD switch, because that's the only way to get the OSD menu. And even on the digital boards, yeah, so that's not it. That's weird, man. Look harder? It should just be on the left there. It sounds like you know where it would be. Walter says, if you damage the thread a little bit, they will not run out. That's true. That is true. Quad City Bear with a $5 super chat, he says, got a Meteor 85. Was great. I tinkered with PIDs. Now the VTX Walksnail freezes. Two totally separate issues. PIDs can't have anything to do with the VTX or Walksnail or any of that. If it's new, get in touch with who you bought it from and say, yo, the Walksnail VTX was totally fine and now it's freezing. Send me a new one. Don't like give them an out. Just be like, this worked fine. I've put the fourth battery through it and now the Walksnail VTX freezes. And you can even say, like, the Walksnail VTXs are known to be kind of fragile. So I need you to replace this for me and get Cadix Walksnail to refund you. Yeah. That sucks, dude. Sorry. Morton Upshot says, you know the term for someone that follows a band of musicians around, a drummer. A drummer / roadie. Chef FPV says, any recommendations for the best mounting location of a mini Immortal T on a Meteor 65? My recommendation is going to be that you swap the frame for a Cockroach V3 frame, and then it's got these. This is one of the best, if not the best, Cinewhoop frames available, and it's got these little hookers on the back, and these little hookers are specifically meant for the Immortal T. This frame will cost you like $4 whole or something. So yeah, that's gonna be my recommendation. Without hookers on the frame, then you're just gonna be E6000ing it to the frame. So yeah, you can do it front or rear, whichever way makes the wire run shorter or whatever. But yeah, that's probably where you're going to want to put it, in the back here. Chromaticus says, what about the Hypetrain Dime 1002s for the 75mm Walksnail? I bought those motors a while ago, and they did not have motor plugs on them, and I sold them. I have no interest in direct soldering motors. In theory, they're good because they're a higher KV, but I haven't tested them, so I can't really speak to that. But yeah, they should be good. Thrash FPV says cats are liquid. They are indeed. Quetzalcoatl Barrier, thanks again for the super chat. Cheetonian says, already replaced with a 5-in-1 and modified the canopy, but I'll reach out to who I bought it from. Yeah, do that for sure. Scotty Scott says, looked up the AIO and it does not have an OSD chip. I do have OSD in the goggles too. How do I move it around? You need the OSD menu to move it around. So yeah, well, look, I got to get these motors spinning in the right direction, so I will show you where that, just in case. I think you know where it is, but just for the sake of argument, I will show you exactly where it is. I'll also take a look. If you shouldn't have to have expert mode on, but maybe? I really don't think so. Why can't I plug it in? What? All right. Here we go. And I'm almost caught up on chat, so we're going to start flying the 10 different builds momentarily. Connect! Configuration, and it's right there. Right there. What happens if I turn expert mode off? Yeah, no, you don't have to have expert mode on. Man, I don't know what to tell you, dude. It sounds like you might need to reinstall Betaflight. If you do, make sure you go into presets and save backup right here. And then you can update Betaflight, you can reinstall, you can do whatever. Motor direction. This is set up for props in. That's great. Wizard, start and spin. Let's see who's spinning the right direction, who's not. Motor 1 is good. Motor 2 is bad. Motor 3 is bad. Motor 4 is good. 2, 3. Let's see if they'll actually reverse. They will not. Yet another AIO on Betaflight 4.5 that will not reverse the motors in here. So it's not a bug in Betaflight 4.3. You guys just, I know I talked about this the other day, but I couldn't find the rig that was doing that, and you just got to watch it live. And this is Betaflight Configurator 10.10.0. This is, to my knowledge, is the newest one. So we've got to come in here, and we're going to go reversed and reversed. Right settings. This is on 0.16. Great. 48K. Brake on stop. Medium. Startup power maxed. Okay, cool. We're good. Reversed and reversed. So we should be good now. Disconnect. Reconnect. Motors. Motor direction. Oh, man. Come on. Don't do this shit. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this bullshit. Please. Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. How is it that, like, our electronics are so like, our electronics are like 1965 Mustangs that, like, if you kick it, it'll go from running to not running. Like, how is that possible? I've never had even remotely any experience like this with electronics. Electronics either work or they don't. Unless there's like a super fringe case. But like, how is it that in FPV, all of our electronics are like the most worthless, awful, finicky, on again, off again pieces of donkey nuts to ever walk the earth? It's a weird thing to say out loud. This has the 30,000 kV 802s on it. I'm going to motor limit these down. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to take a quick look at the filtering, though. Awesome. I've got Brandon's mega cool. Oh, maybe I don't. What's going on here? Why is the D-term slider off? Huh. Okay. Well, I'm going to set this here. 1 gyro RPM filter, great. 1 dynamic notch. 600 is a little low. Let's bump that up to 800. And cool. Throttle mid is now going to be wrong. I'm going to have to reset that because I changed the motors. And sliders look about right. Let's just chill this out a little tiny bit. Okay, cool. And let me just dial in the dynamic damping a little bit. Sweet. Okay. Stick response. Since it's a 75 and they're so lazy, I'm actually going to move the feed forward up to 1.0. I don't usually do that, but I've begun doing that more and more lately. All right, so there's one. I've got another identical one on the 33,000 kV 802s. I'm going to retest this whole high kV 802 thing over the next couple days. So hold on to your butts for that. All right, let's see what this one's up to. Motors, motor direction. Let's see what's what. 1 is good. Hey, 2 is good. Oh, they're all going the right direction. Happy days are here at last. Okay. 6% idle, great. PID tuning. I'm going to leave it. That's the same as the other one. I'm going to back this off to 1.0. Trying to set these up like somewhat. I'm not going to go crazy about it, but I want them to be somewhat matched up with one another. Okay. 47. Okay, great. 30. Okay. Move this up just a little bit. Drop that down. Drop this down. Okay. So the filters are now set up identical on these two. Good to go. All right, so those are the 2 Jungle Gym Bashers. We're going to fly those for sure. I don't think that I need to do anything else specific on the rest of these, so maybe we start with them. Yeah, let's get all the... We'll fly all the analog... Well, let me get caught up the rest of the way on chat. I'm almost there. Scotty Scott says it is not there. Yo, that's super weird, dude. I've not experienced that before. I don't know what to tell you. That's super weird. I think you have to reinstall Betaflight. That's the only thing I can think of. Scotty Scott says looked up the AIO and it does not. Oh, I talked about that. Okay. Cheetonian says, oh, the hooks are in the back. LOL, out front of every rig I have. I only run them in the back to protect them. If they're in the front, when you nose into stuff, you're going to beat the hell out of the little hookers. And then the police are going to put you in jail. So don't do that. Quad City Barrier with a $2 super chat. He says, maybe throttle puts voltage below 3.0 and stops. What's that in reference to? Got a Meteor 80. Oh, okay. Got a Meteor 85. Meteor 85. It's great. Mess with the PIDs. Now VTX Walksnail freezes. Could be. Yeah. Take it. Keep an eye on your voltage in the OSD and make sure it's not dropping down really low. 3 volts is about the limit. Yeah, if it drops below 3 volts, I'm pretty sure the Walksnail will let go. So yeah, if you crank the PIDs way up, the PIDs could be overactive, and that's gonna sag the battery like crazy. So yeah, that could totally be it. Good call. I didn't think of that, which is very annoying. And that's actually something that's happened to me before. I've actually had the Walksnail freeze on a throttle punch when flying one of these Walksnail 65s outside. And I flipped it into horizon mode, added a bunch of throttle, flew it up really high in the air, and waited. And the Walksnail did come power back on and give me video back. Thrash FPV says, what does a pimp and the cockroach frame have in common? Hookers in the back. Cheatonian says, I don't even bother trying to change directions in Betaflight anymore. I just straight to ESC configurator. Curtis Hayes says, I think I found a bug I need to submit to Betaflight when I use sticks to change 5.0 VTX power. What's that mean? I lose my voltage monitor source and have to USB in to reset it back. What? I don't know what you mean by when I use sticks to change 5.0 VTX power. But Jesus, if you're doing something that then you lose the voltage monitoring OSD element, that's crazy. That's super strange. Tiny Shark says, have the 2G4 and the light AF frame after some hard crashes, saw the USB port was slightly bent. Now I connect to PC, it delivers power, but can't be read by Betaflight /ESC config. That sucks. I would say try to bend it back. It sounds like it's already kind of dead. Yeah, I mean, as we get lighter and lighter and lighter with these frames, we're protecting the motors and the electronics less and less and less. I have not had that issue, but that's super interesting. Yeah, I mean, the light AF frame is going to be one of the most flimsy, right? Because it's the lightest. The 2G4 is hands down like the most durable of the AIOs, but you know, we can break anything. So yeah, there's that. Curtis Hayes says version of Betaflight. When I use sticks to change, what's that mean? Version of Betaflight. What's that mean? Let's start flying quads, friends. We're gonna do all analog rigs first. Wait, no. Let's take a look at some Runcam Nano 3 cameras. Let's do a quick Runcam Nano 3 camera comparison. I'm not gonna pull one of these things apart just to plug the camera in. I have to have an extra 2G4 somewhere around here. Hey! Oh, it's on PH 2.0 plugs, though. What a kick in the balls. Hold on. I have... here we go. I'll just over-discharge one of these PH 2.0 batteries. It'll be fine. Sebi D says, for the OSD tab, OSD option has to be a part of the Betaflight build and flash. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that he needs to get reflash Betaflight. It sounds like there's some weird version of Betaflight on there. It's super odd. Okay, so the other thing I need to do is put an antenna on here. So we're gonna try the 5 Runcam Nanos that are outside of quads first. And oh balls, I'm gonna actually have to plug this into Betaflight. Hold on, let me do this real quick. This will not take long because I have to set this to race 8. So let's really quickly. Hopefully this has a functioning VTX table on it. Happy Model has a. Oh, and I need to turn that off too. Yeah, sometimes Happy Model ships their boards with the wrong VTX tables on them. I know that sounds insane, and you think I'm lying, but it's the truth. The other thing I want to do is take some screenshots of this stuff. So I'm going to come here. Oh, look at that. And do a screenshot of each one of these. And so the first ones I'm going to do are these three that are not even inside of canopies. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to frame up the toolbox here with them. So it's going to be plug camera in. Find what side is up on the board, on the camera board. Try not to burn myself. Frame up the shot. Take a screenshot. I'm going to need help taking the screenshots, my friends. I'm not going to be able to... Well, no, I'll be able to do it. Hold on. So if I hit Command Open Apple 4... Yeah, okay. No, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. All right, cool. So here's the first. And so we're just going to go like that. Why is it jiggling so much? Stop jiggling! Why is it jiggling so much? Stop! Stop jiggling! Okay. All right, there's one. All right, so that's the first. All three of these, I would think, are going to be exactly the same that I'm doing right now. But let's find out. Shift Open Apple 4. I want to get my finger out of here. Okay. So that's two. Here comes the third one. And we're going to compare these three head to head to head. The lenses are all the same on these. So there's going to be no difference in field of view. The difference is going to be in the processing, basically. Shift Open Apple 4. All right. And there we go. All right, cool. So that's three. Let's take a quick look at those back to back to back and see if there's anything that we can start to kind of figure out here. So let's move some of this shit around here. That should not still be opened. So that's the third, that's the second, and this is the first. All right, so one of the things that we're looking for is like a weird purple tint. And boy, oh boy, can you see the purple tint? So yeah, that first one, which is this guy right here, has that crazy purple tint thing going on, which I don't pretend to understand. Is there anything on the back of this that... Nope. Yeah, okay, so that's... It's really hard to determine whether or not... To tell the difference between these. I think it's like all internal differences. So yeah, there you go. That first one is way, way, way purple. This one... Okay, so look, these two. These are the second two that I tested, and they are identical. No purple tint. Little tiny bit of extra purple on top on this one, but like if you look all the way off on the right here, you can see that it's roughly the same. If I point it up a little bit too much, it will it'll try to white balance to the daylight balanced studio lights that are up here, so I got to be a little careful with that. But yeah, no, I can tell that these two are, I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious, right? 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right, that one's a bit of a mess there. And like, look, I'm barely pointing. Like, I got it. Wow, it almost looks like that one has a different field of view. Because look, like everything, like look over here on the left, this speaker. Oops. This speaker is in the exact, not exact, but really close to the same spot. And then if you look off on the right, it's slightly different here. But then look at the middle. Look at the middle of the image. That's super interesting. I should put like a little mark on the desk and then hold the camera on the mark, but that would be far too intelligent. Why do that? So I'm going to delete these two. I'm going to save the third one. The third one is what's hooked up right now. And so that's going to be our benchmark. The hell was that noise? What was that? Benchmark 1 is here. Now I've got these two that are in canopies. So let's test these little devils. And I'm really hoping that I have all 4 versions. And we'll be able to like look at so far we've seen 2 different versions, the super purple version and then the whatever one. So let's keep going and see how many different versions of Runcam Nano 3s that I have in the building. Okay, and shift open Apple 4. Okay, this one looks to be roughly the same. Click and drag. Screenshot. Okay, cool. Next. All right, so that's that one. So, all right, so it's going to be this camera is the first, and then it's going to be this one in the canopy is next, and then I'm going to test this third one. Here we go. Okay. Awesome. Shift open Apple. Oh, fart. That was shift open Apple 3. That's not at all what I wanted to do. So now I have to get rid of 2 screenshots. Oh, balls. Well, I got to do this first. Okay. This looks like another one of the normal ones, but I'll be able to tell for sure in a minute. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's compare these 3. I think these are all the same. I think we're also going to come across 1 or 2 Runcam Nano 3s with like the worst contrast you've ever seen. All right, hold on. I got to delete this. And I'll just leave that there. That's fine. All right, so what do these 3 guys look like? 1, 2, 3. Yep, so these are all the same. Same field of view, same white balance. Right? Good to go. So these 3 Runcam Nano 3s are identical. The differences are like me pointing it up, pointing it down, pointing it left. Right? Yeah. If you look at the bottom of the screen stays pretty much the same. Although I guess I pointed it up a little bit on this one. But the top of the screen, you can see how this is moving. That's just me accidentally pointing this one higher. That's not a field of view issue. They're the same field of view. Yeah, you can also see on the right side of the screen here, you can see a little bit of the swing arm light post thing, and on this one there's not. So it's just me, yeah, pointing them a little bit differently. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of these 2, and we'll keep this one. All right, so this one's good. This one's good. We're gonna keep this guy for the next test. All right, so now we're going to start plugging entire quads in. I don't need this little PH 2.0 battery anymore, which is great. I also don't need this random. Well, this is my one extra 2G4 actually. That's not in any builds. I have plenty of builds with them. Some of the builds that I have are just like holding, are just there for like holding an extra 2G4, but then I end up flying them. So, all right, yeah, let's start plugging these guys in. Command open Apple 4, and so in no particular order, we are just going to. Fart. Some of these are low power until first arm. How annoying is that? Well, in that case, let's just start flying these rigs. I was about to fly these two rigs, so let's just dive in. First of 10 that we're going to fly. 2G4 AIO. Old school Mobula 6 canopy. Runcam Nano 3. Mobula 7 V4 frame. Custom-ish built iGao 802 30,000 kV motors. Gemfan 1610 props. ORT Micro V antenna. Blue and white BetaFPV 451S BT 2.0. The first thing I'll do with these rigs is point them at the thing. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll know. Ah! Alright, well, screw it. I'll just use my regular Fat Shark Googles. I don't have a battery in the HDZeros. I don't feel like digging it out. Alright, this is the wrong module. Let's switch it. Maybe I'll set aside all of the rigs that are on ELRS 2.5 and update them. Alright, that gets it out of Bing Bong mode. And then, so I'm going to hold it here and do a little screenshot action. All right, awesome. We've got a screenshot of that. And all right, I'm just going to leave it. And we're going to fly. Here we go. Why is there no OSD? All this talk of... Wow, look at that. Look how much darker the image gets when I turn the OSD on. That's a thing with Newbie Drone. That's not usually a thing. All right, so that's better. Now it's better. No, it's not. Wow. I'll be damned. Okay, I've not necessarily noticed that before. Oh, wow, I can barely notice it in my goggles. It's only through OBS. That's weird. Yeah, I really don't notice it in the goggles at all. Oh god, no! Don't you dare! Thank you. So this is now on 802 30,000 kV motors. And it was like... It was super jittery a second ago. What was... What the fuck? Why was it all jittery? Oh boy. This thing has like no momentum. It's smoothed out quite a bit, but a little bit of prop wash when I push it like outrageously hard. And there's the core temperature warning. Let's let it relax for a minute. There we go. Hey! Oh, I just blew shit everywhere. Woo! Oh god! Actually, hold on. Let me reset the throttle expo midpoint. 33, 36, 34, 36, 33, 36. 33. I'm going to set it to 35. It's probably a good middle point. So we go down here to rates, hit up to go to the bottom. Did I say 38? I think I said 38, didn't I? $37, $35. No, yeah, 38's probably about right. I did turn the amount of throttle expo way down on this. And that's probably what I'm noticing. These are a very high kV motor for a 1.6-inch prop. So let me actually turn that back up now that I know that it's set properly. I change the motors on the, whenever I change motors, I will blindly turn down the amount of expo because I know the midpoint is not going to be right. And so that's what I did here, but it's looking like it's okay. Let me check one more thing though. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of D gain. Interesting. As with all of these, what the fuck? As with all of these 1.6-inch prop 802 motor builds, the response time is not the best. The motor is not really quite big enough. The motor is not quite big enough to give you like really good response time. But unlike the 1002s and the 1102s, they are a high enough kV to give you a good burst of power at the top of the throttle. So like for flying inside like this is really difficult because the response time is not great. This thing outside is awesome. So there you go, a little over 3-minute runtime. Yeah, I dig these outside. Inside they're okay. They're not. It's just a little bit response time limited. I could keep turning the feed forward up more and more and more and more and more, but it's all right. It's fine. This battery's a little warm, probably from that little air mode fiasco at the at that gate. There you go. Next up, we've got the exact same build, but with 33,000 kV 802s versus 30s, which are what we just flew. Everything else is completely the same. First thing I'm going to do is take that screenshot of the of this particular Runcam Nano 3. So let's get a battery in here, and then I can get this going. All right, there's the battery. It looks like it's firing up to full McGillicuddy, which is nice. All right, hold it here. And screenshot coming at you. Okay, cool. And it looks like this is on ELRS 2.5, so I'm going to have to switch the module, and I'm going to set this rig aside and update it, because this whole switching modules back and forth thing is for the birds. Peace and love, FPV, with a $10 super chat. Thank you, dude. Very cool of you. Very, very cool. All right. 30,000 kV motors now. The up tilt is a little bit too low. See how you can see the motor? That's too low. Let's give a little bit more up tilt here. Nope, not quite enough. And Jesus, it's fighting me. Ah, screw it. Let's leave it there. Oh, wait. No, the camera is crooked in here? Why is the camera crooked? That's why you can see motor over here. You can't see motor over here. I can actually see that the camera is crooked in there. That's no good. Hold on. Let me pop these 4 screws and see what the hell's going on with this camera mount. In the meantime, though, let's take a quick look at these 4 screenshots. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 3 screenshots. 1, 2, 3. The top one has a good amount of extra contrast to it, but that could just be that this light is a little bit more out of frame. See how this overhead light is more in the frame? That's probably contributing to it. I think all 3 of these are the same. Hey, anybody looking for a new show to watch? If you want to watch along with me, Patrick turned me on to the show The Blacklist on Netflix. It's pretty good. The VFX are kind of hokey, and I really wish that they'd had a better or more tactical advisors on set. But other than that, it's pretty good. The storyline is pretty interesting. And it's got Robert California in it for any of you The Office fans. All right, I'm going to get rid of 2 of those screenshots. This can now chill. He good to go. It's this guy that needs a little bit of love, potentially. So, hold on. This camera is not in the mount properly. I'm checking this one, and it is totally fine. Something's going on here, though. And it's just 4 screws away. Peace and Love says, that sounds like the quads I like to fly. Why do I put stuff in my mouth as if I can do that and then still talk on the stream? Thank you again, Peace and Love FPV. Very kind of you. It is super chats like that allow me to do this full time. Very, very cool of you. Morton Upshot says, all your SPI ELRS whoops on 2.5 have old versions of Betaflight 2.4, I think. I think you are correct. I believe that if I update this rig here I'm taking apart to Betaflight 4.5, that it'll come up to ELRS 3.0. I've noticed that slowly but surely I have less rigs that are on the old school ELRS. I find myself using this white module, which is the one that I've left on 2.5. I use this module less and less and less. And that tracks because I have been updating a lot of rigs to 4.5. It's the rigs that have BMI 270 gyros so that I can get onto Brandon's Baked Beans' magical BMI 270 filter setup. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's sort of the deal. All right, so what's happening with this camera? I'm going to unscrew the camera as well because almost certainly the problem is that little plastic piece that screws to the back of the Runcam Nano 3. So let's just take a look. Okay, so this thing has actually never been... It's still got the foam in there. Was that foam the problem? I think that foam might be the problem. All right, so I'm going to take this all the way apart. There's really nothing for you guys to see. I'm just unscrewing screws here if you really want to watch. There you go. Yeah, Happy Model puts this foam in here for some reason. And yeah, I always take it out, and I've never had a problem. So what I'm going to do is to take that foam out. That's really the only reason that this camera should be acting funny. There's really no other thing that would have this camera sitting in there not straight. It's a weird problem. I've noticed this before when I didn't tighten these screws all the way down, but that's not the case here with this. So this is weird. I guess maybe that foam could be a part of the problem, but I don't know about that. The only other thing I can think of is maybe this plastic backing piece is like warped or something. So yeah, here's this weird piece of foam. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, this is the little backing piece. And is it like warped or some shit? It looks... Oh, no. Oh, it might be. I don't think I should be doing that. I have a ton of these. I'm just going to replace it. Regardless of whether it's a problem or not. I'll give it a shot. Hold on. Wow, I'm super glad that I noticed that, because flying with a crooked camera is absolutely horrifying. Alright, here's an extra. Okay. That. Alright, cool. So let's check this extra one. Is it as wobbly? No. Yeah, this thing is warped, yo! Weird. I'm throwing this away. Get out of my life, you bad bastard. All right, here we go. Screw this camera back down. Ooh. And hopefully this camera will point straight ahead. Notice that if you've got more prop or duct or whatever in view on one side of your Cinewhoop than the other, don't ignore that. Like, that's the camera not being straight. And that rig is going to be really hard to fly like that. So yeah, do not ignore it. All right. Where's the... There it is. Okay, so this part goes like this. I know you guys might not be able to see, but there's like kind of no wrong way to put this on. So if you don't have one of these and you're curious as to what I'm doing, someday you'll get an old school Mobula 6 canopy and you'll see how this kind of mounts. It's a clever little setup. I don't love this setup, if I'm really honest, but man, is this canopy strong, and man, is this camera lightweight. And like this setup of camera and canopy, I can't find anything that can touch it in terms of like ticking all the check boxes. Like, there are cameras that look better. I don't know if there are any cameras that are lighter. There are cameras that, yeah, this is the best combination of weight, durability, and the camera looks fine. Most of these, the main complaint is a lack of contrast in most of these Runcam Nanos. I actually love that, because that gives me, that's basically like using, it's as if the camera is in like D-Log or flat profile, and then I can adjust in Premiere. I would rather have that than a camera that has a whole bunch of contrast baked in, and then I have to try to desaturate it. So yeah. I'm probably not going to be able to get this camera back in here with this u.fl plugged in, so I'm going to pull this, and I'm even going to pull this antenna out of here. It is a little bit of a, it is admittedly a little bit of a pain in the balls to get these, to get the camera with that little backing plate into this canopy. It's not that bad, but sometimes it's actually pretty bad. And so here's how I do it. I start these screws. See where my middle finger is over here? See how that screw is not all the way in there? It's the same thing on this side. Right? So get them started. Take a look on the inside and screw them in to the point where there's just a little tiny bit of the pointy end of the screw sticking through. All right? So it's like that on both sides. And so now you're going to pinch this a little bit. You're going to pinch this to move those mounting points outwards, and then you can slot that little jib-jab in, and you're just trying to get those two little points started. All right, so get this in here, and there's holes on that little bracket that you just put on. Pinch it, try to get it started in the holes. I know I have at least one, maybe two. Now you're real gentle. Just screw this guy in a little bit. Ah, shit. Fell out. Ah, fucker. All right, so gotta get them both in there. All right, so there's the one. Here comes the other one. Hopefully. There it is. All right. So you got to get like a finger on the camera because you got to kind of hold the camera steady. And then screw one in super gentle, and then don't bury it. Just flip it over and try to get the other one in there. If you can get like one thread on either one, you're golden. And I think I just got it. Nope. The one side is all fakakta. So this side I have to back off, try to get it lined back up, and then put it back through. So there we go, backed it off. Nope. Come on. There it goes. I think I just felt it thread in. Yep. And you'll see it on the bottom. You'll see it when it actually starts grabbing them. So now the next thing is that you don't want to crank these down. These are metal screws going into that plastic backing plate. If you crank this down, and then you ever have to adjust it again, it will not be happy with you. And so now I take a look at the camera, and it is no longer crooked. Excellent. Cool. And then you just check one more time and just make sure that little backing plate is perfectly lined up with the outside of the canopy. Again, it's incredibly difficult for me to show you that, but when you go to do this for the first time, it'll make total sense. And you'll be like, ah, okay, I see what he was saying. All right. I like to put this antenna down through this middle hole in the canopy. I run it up over these wires and then snap it down to the u.fl. And there it is. Okay. There's that. There's this. Camera's in there. Let's throw these 4 screws back on, and hopefully there will be less motor in view. Hopefully there won't be any motor in view. Okay. I feel like a magician sometimes having a magnetic screwdriver, because you can just like whoop. Okay. 33,000 kV 802s on a Jungle Gym Basher coming up, my friends, in another couple of seconds. There we go. Make sure you don't over tighten these on the corners as well, because you'll just strip the posts out on the frame. It's super annoying. Again, tighten with your fingers, right? Get a little tiny screwdriver like this and tighten with just your fingers. Don't start putting your wrist into it. Just your fingies. Only tighten with your fingies. And then you'll only over tighten it a little bit. Okay. Let's see if that's any better. Might not be. The canopy could be the problem. You know, we just changed that backing plate, which takes that out of the equation. If it's still doing it, then the canopy is the problem. I wouldn't think that it could possibly be the frame, but I don't know. I've been wrong before. I put the battery in backwards. Jesus Christ, come on. Oh, man. Jesus. There we go. I've put this cloth tape on some of these to try to get them to fit better in here. I don't know if I like it. It's kind of a nightmare sometimes. Hey, look at that. No motor in view on the left side there. Damnedest thing. All right, yo. 33,000 kV. Let's see what this madness is all about. ELRS, are you gonna like... There we go. Woo! Let me dial in the hover point again. 37. 36 I saw. 37, 36. I'm gonna set it at 36. Profile rate. Go up to go down. Throttle expo amount 30. I'm going to move it up to 40, which I think I put it on the other rig, hopefully. 32, I'm going to move up to 36. Slightly higher KV motors, so a slightly lower midpoint. Makes sense. Whee, hey, easy fella. So, core temperature warnings a lot earlier. Because these are a higher KV motor. No surprises there. Hopefully it'll calm itself down, though. It hasn't so far. Oh boy, I wasn't looking at where I was going. Come on. Start going down. Start going down. Oh boy. Okay. Great. Hey. Oh god. Oh boy. No, no. Ah. Hard to fly these big old rigs in the house. I've really set these up for outdoor stuff. Hey. Oh no. Okay, nope, 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 that's too hot. Nope, 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 nope. 33,000 kV is too much. Yeah, for 5 amp FETs, it's just too much, too much. Let me check one thing. Let me flip this into turtle mode and make sure that there's not like a drastically bent prop that's causing that issue. I'm pretty sure there isn't, but it's worth a quick spin up. Hold on, I'm just gonna hold it. Motor 1's fine, 2 is fine, 4 is fine. And 1 is not like absolutely brand new, but no, there's not enough vibrations to be causing that. It's just motors that are too high powered. Yeah, so this should come apart. This is just gonna cook that 2G4. Yeah, there's the limit. 802, 27,000 kV is like perfect for the 2G4. It's like absolutely on the limit, but not over the limit. So yeah, if you're gonna do a 75mm 2G4 rig and you want the most powerful motor that you can realistically run before it starts to overheat like that, it's the iGao, the 802, 27,000. That's the one you want. It flies great with that motor on there. So this guy is... This just makes no sense to have this together. So I'm going to pull these motor plugs, and that's going to be my sign to pull this thing apart. All right, I think we got maybe one more 75mm analog rig, and then we're going to dive into the 65s. But right now, I just want to make it very obvious that this thing needs to get pulled apart. Matter of fact, I might take this... I might pull this apart and use this stack for like a 65mm rig or just, yeah, something else. The 2G4 is really not great for these 75mm builds. It's not the right AIO. Any AIO with 5 amp FETs it seems like we're really pushing it to its absolute limits on these 75mm builds when you use motors that make actual power. If you use like low kV motors, you're totally fine, but they do not fly all that great with low kV motors, so don't do that, in my opinion. All right. So yeah, this frame here with the 33,000 kV motors is just gonna have to like wait for at some point an AIO that's got more than 5 amp FETs, which is totally fine. So I'm gonna throw that over there. I'm gonna put this little stack over here, and I will find a home for this for sure. Okay, so let's keep going on the Runcam Nano 3 rig so that we can keep doing two things at once, which is looking for, we've found two versions of Runcam Nano 3. I would love to find a third. Hey, this has the third version. This is the Emax Nano Hawk Runcam Nano 3 that BetaFPV sold. Wait till you see how different this is. Might as well just throw a battery in the damn thing. We'll be all right. It's gonna get flown. This is Mobula 7 2024, fully upgraded. Stock motors, stock AIO, that's it. Upgraded with light AF frame, old school Mobula 6 canopy, Runcam Nano 3, Micro V, and what really wakes the Mobula 6 2024 up are the Gemfan 1219S propellers. These are lower KV 702s. These are very pitchy props. That is a good combo. These are lightweight but pitchy props, and that's a good combo. This camera is sitting in there just fine. All right, let's get a screenshot of this, and you will definitely see a difference here. Apple 4. Yes, it is not super low power until first arming. Oh shit, this battery is at 2.13 volts. That ain't good. Maybe it thought it was a 2S? I did charge this battery up. This is this Dogcom battery. I've not had great luck with this battery. Okay, it thought it was a 2S. All right, so hold it there. That's where I've been holding them. Screenshot. All right, check this out, man. Look how different this Runcam Nano 3 is. It should be. Yeah, there you go. So it's not super purple. It's a little bit more. Well, wow, it does look pretty purple on the left side there. I think it's a little bit more neutrally balanced than that other cam. But like, just look at the dynamic range, right? Like, look at these stickers in here. You can kind of get, it's obviously blurry as hell, but there's some amount of detail on these stickers here. And then you go to this one and they're just like totally blown out, right? Like look at this sticker here. Ready? See how blown out it is? It's losing a lot of information in the brights. And so, yeah, these Emax Nanohawk cameras, they look better in the goggles. But then if you go to try to color correct them, it's a lot more difficult. Look at the eye here. You can really see it in the left eye. It just gets completely blown out. See that? So, yeah, there you go. There you go. This is the third. I think this is the third version of the Nano 3. And it's the Emax Tiny Hawk version. All right, let's fly this little guy. This is going to be one of the lightest weight rigs that we fly here tonight. But that's okay. We forgive it. We forgive it for being extra lightweight. All right, this is going to be a hell of an adjustment. So what version of ELRS are you on, little buddy? Don't you tell me that you're on 2.5. Nah. No, it's on 3. Cool. So here we go. This should work. Come on. Come on. There it is. 16.6 grams. This rig. God, look at that float. Oh my God. Oh, wow, what an adjustment. Okay, hold on. Whew. Man, I love flying a bunch of batteries on the 75s and then coming back to these 65s because it's like cheating. These ultralight high-ish kV 65mm builds really feel like cheating in terms of like trying to do gnarly shit inside the house. Ah! I thought I could just like really hang it out there, but it wasn't quite lined perfectly up. I'm getting like real flavorful and brave. Oh man. Nope, that ain't gonna go in there. Ah! Okay, easy. Calm. I wanted to try to get it under the table, but... Okay. I'm not flying great tonight. But maybe that will make the difference between these rigs even more obvious. So there was just a massive moment of prop wash there. What was that about? Okay. Okay. This is also the rig that has this weird mid-throttle jello, which I've heard from a bunch of people with the Happy Model Mabo 6 2024s. Take a quick look at what the tune is. Whoa, why is the tune so backed off? That's weird. I might have been doing that to try to get the mid-throttle oscillations out. Man, okay, no wonder it was sitting down into prop wash. Oh, this battery's donezo. No, it's not. Man, it is bouncing back. This is not a great battery. I can already tell. This is also the rig that I like to fly on these little 260 mAh batteries. This battery is just getting old. Let me run one of those real quick. This rig is light enough and low enough kV that these little 260 mAh batteries actually rip. So yeah, check this out. This is another 1.5 grams lighter. Off Axis says purple is the new white. K-Ro says planning on 75mm analog build after I found 2G4 in stock. What motor size frame combo won't have the problem with props hitting the frame? That's only like a 2S thing. You're good, man. You're good. 2G4 is 1S only, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Warren Upshot says all your okay, we talked about that. Tactical FPV says, what are your thoughts on the BetaFPV CO2 minicam? In a little bit, we're gonna run the rig that has that cam. Okay. 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 Nope. Nope. That's why the PIDs were turned down so much. Why? What's happening here, little buddy? That is not right at all. Let's go turtle mode while we're holding the rig. Motor 1's fine. 2 is a little bit beat up, but it's not that bad. 4 is great. 3 is a little vibey, but it's not that bad. What the hell was that about? Let me plug it into Betaflight. We'll take a look at the filters and see what's going on. Because that was a big moment of mayhem. So, what do we got here? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Configuration 3.2K, so it is a BMI 270 gyro. This is on Betaflight 4.4. Okay, so I do not have Brandon's magical filtering setup on this thing. Oh, apparently I do. But it's only on Betaflight 4.4. I'm going to get it onto 4.5. All right, I'm going to not fly this anymore until I've updated it to 4.5. Because, yeah, I don't want to fly it with the PID tune all down low like that. That's silly. Brandon, if you're in the chat, what's the difference between 4.4 and 4.5 in terms of the getting the BMI 270 to work really well? I know you told me a while ago. I forget, though. I apologize. Danzilla Turbo says, reflashing Betaflight won't put an OSD chip on his flight controller. That's true, but as someone that owns multiple AIOs that don't have OSD chips on them, you can still turn on OSD and have OSD on those other things. So, yeah, it doesn't matter that there's no OSD chip on the flight controller. You should still be able to turn OSD on. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to use OSD on any of the digital rigs, right? Levitated says, best indoor analog camera for micro, best outdoor. No such thing as best, Levi. There's just different. So, yeah, you need to pick which one you like the best. But, yeah, there is no best. Pequeño Frijole missed the answer to the last stream. Does the OSD amp readout show the total amperage across all FETs? It does indeed. Also, when can I buy Batwing mounts? At some point, I will get the 3D printer set up and figure out how to use it, and then you'll be able to buy the Batwing mounts. But for right now, all you can do is download them from the Discord. Sorry, dude. Peace and love. Thank you again for the super chat. Trying to get caught up here. Hold on, friends. Thrash FPV says, the blacklist is so good. Wait till the later seasons, bro. It's insane. Very cool. I've been having to rewatch a lot of the episodes because I can tell there's a bunch of backstory, like between the main character and her husband. When I just listen to the show and I'm working, I can't follow that storyline good enough, and so I end up I've rewatched a whole bunch of it, but it seems pretty good. Market Zero says, why do so many Runcam Nano 3s turn pinkish, and is there a fix? If it goes like super, super, super pink, what has happened is the ultraviolet filter has broken off of either the back of the lens or the sensor, and there really is no fix for that. You can certainly try to glue it back together. You're not going to get it. Yeah. CMYK says, I got that package today. Thanks a ton. You're certainly welcome. Enjoy. Cheetonian says, what AIO is in the Jungle Gym Basher currently? 2G4, just because that's all I've got at the moment. It's going to get an X12, though. Proper Jungle Gym Basher build has a 10 or 11 or 12 amp AIO in it. We just got to find a good one. Demo FPV says, is the Air 75 good for a Jungle Gym Basher? Maybe. BetaFPV have said that they're going to send me one. Yeah, I don't know how it is durability-wise or anything like that. So all I can say is maybe. Martin Taylor says, could I run 1104s on a 2S rig with Happy Model Super X HD? Maybe. 1104 is more of a motor for like a 2-inch build, though. That's way too much motor for a 1.6-inch or a 1.2-inch prop. Depending on the KV, maybe it'll work. I have very little experience with the Happy Model Super X. I think it's got 12 amp FETs, which should be totally fine, but it's really going to depend on the KV. If they're like 1104, 30,000 KV or something like that, it would blow that AIO up. KV is very important. Titan says, so for the Mobula 6 2024, you prefer the 1219 over the HQ Ultralight? Absolutely. It makes way more power with the 1219Ss. CMYK says, thank you, dude. Brandon's White Bean says, just don't use 10.9 config with that snippet. 4.4 is fine. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. I'm going to still update it anyway. And I'm caught up on chat. Look at me go. Okay, so we did fly that. I think we're, what, 3 builds deep now? Here's number 4 and 5. We will just ratchet it up. That was like 28,000 kV. This is 32,000 kV. Let's do this next. 2G4, Light AF, Mobula 6 Canopy, Runcam Nano 3, Moon Traveler 0702, 32,000 kV motors. This is actually on the Gemfan Ultralight props because they're pink and it's got a pink LED. This is the Trans Rights build. Let's get a screenshot going here. Okay, hold it roughly here. Frame that up. Frame this up. Try to get that out of the view. Okay. And let's get a screenshot here. All right, good. Let's just take a super quick look at it just for the sake of argument. All right, look at that difference. Look at the difference between these two Runcam Nano 3s. So this is the Emax Nano Hawk one. Crazy contrast. And then these are the more standard Runcam Nano 3s. So if I click between 2 cameras ago and this one just now, these are obviously the same. So again, we've identified at least two, maybe 3 different versions of the Runcam Nano 3 here so far. Yeah, this one is obviously the same as those first few that we ran. Good. Now we shall fly. This build here and these motors, 702, 32,500, I think these are really kind of the sweet spot. As hysterical as it is to fly the 36,000s and the 40,000s, they're an awful lot. Apparently this is also on the older version of ELRS. So let's switch the module. And we'll be as patient as possible. In the goggles, this camera looks so good. Like this Runcam Nano 3 just looks so natural. What the fuck? Oh, it's in turtle mode. Yeah, this is the build that I fly the most. So I might just be like, that might be the main reason that I like it so much. I don't think so though. I think this is just the perfect mix of enough KV but not too much KV. And then you can really choose, like these motors will work on any of the 3 propellers. When we start talking about like the 36,000 and the 40,000 kV motors, really you're going to want to put those on the biblades, on the Gemfan 1210 biblades. When we start talking about the lower KV motors, 28,000, 29,000, you're really going to want those on the 1219Ss to get any power out of them. These motors being right in the middle, I really dig these motors with the HQ ultralights. They've got enough KV to have good power. And then these HQ props are so lightweight that you get incredible response time. I've run this build on all 3 propellers, and it feels great on all of them. But like, it's cool. I really dig that you can run this on any of them, and it's and it really does work well. It's not like there's not one propeller that suits these motors specifically. Hey, woo! 2 in a row, goddammit. And then just the dumbest crash of all time. I gotta finish painting this wall over here. I got the first coat down. I gotta hit this with the sander, flatten it out, and then get a second coat on there. Hey, let's just hit the bottom of the gate instead of going through it. What a great idea. Don't judge the runtime on any of these. I'm running the garbage batteries that I've got that are like old and moldy, and so yeah, do not compare the runtimes on these. Compare like the flight characteristics and what I'm talking about when I talk you through these. This is another rig that's on ELRS 2.5, so I'm going to put it here to remind myself to update it. I'm actually going to make a pile of rigs right next to my keyboard that need to be updated. All right. There's that. There's that. Perfect. All right, next up we've got the same exact build, but a Cockroach V3 frame instead of the Light AF, and 0702 30,000 kV motors. First up, we're going to test the camera. This battery just got run. All right. Shift open Apple 4. And away we go. Uriel says Walter is from now Uriel. Walter, did you change your name to Uriel? Is that what I'm seeing there? All right, so this is a low power until first arm rig, or not. What's happening here, little buddy? What's your deal? It's on 0 milliwatts. Well, that'll do it. That's better. Put it back to 25. Whoa, what was that? What? What the hell was that? What? What was that? Whoa, what? Why? What the hell? It's... Why is that changing? What the fuck? What is this doing? Let's go in here and make sure that this is not set to that weird thing. Oh no, that made it way worse. It's supposed to be on free. What the fuck is this thing doing? I mean, it seemed to work fine when it was on a... Why does it keep bouncing? Oh, okay. Well, I think we might be witnessing the death of a 2G4 right before our very eyes. Let me try to power cycle it. That ain't right. Let me use my goggles so that I can actually see what the hell's going on here. All right, into the menu we go. Features, VTX. Oh God, something weird has happened. It's like... Oh, this is... There's something seriously wrong here. Yeah, no, this is broken. Pit mode is off. It keeps asking me to confirm. Oh yeah, no, this is broken. Or the VTX table's wrong. Yeah, no, something's fucked up here. Why does that keep beeping? Is it it's losing okay, I guess we're not flying this rig. Okay. It's been completely fine, but now it's not. Wow. That's dumb. Plugging it into Betaflight real quick, like. Video transmitter. Save. Saved. Yeah, no, see, it keeps going back down to 0. That's insane. What? Oh my god. Why is every single thing in FPV such a disaster all the time, forever? Like, how is it possible that everything is so bad so often? I think this is where I found it last time. Dump file. Nope, that's Mobile 6 2024. Fuck. Oh, it's because that post is for the Mobile 6 2024. I think this is it. Nope. Maybe. Okay. Great work, Happy Model. Great work on that website. Top fucking notch. I've clicked this one before. Maybe this has it. Hey! All right, let's try this real quick. And dump that in there. No red text. Great. Maybe it's all better now. I can probably tell by just coming in here and seeing if it'll save the settings that I'm actually giving it, right? So go to 25, hit save, and see if it deletes the 25. Yeah, no, it's still doing that. What the hell, dude? That's so stupid. Okay, let's try this one. Oh man, there is nothing like FPV. Absolutely nothing. This is the most unique, insane thing I've ever experienced in like just consistently, just consistently insane. Wow, no, this is wow. I'm not flying this. I will update. It looks like this is on Betaflight 4.3. So I'm gonna have to update that, I guess, to 4.5. There must be something broken about that. Wow, wow. That is extraordinary. I'm not even mad. It's just insane. All right, we're gonna fly a. So that's I can't really get a Runcam Nano 3 screenshot with that because it's just a heap of shit. So that we found 2, maybe 3 different versions of the Runcam Nano 3 tonight. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is basically a Meteor 75 with a lighter frame and a better antenna. And motor swap. These are RCN Power 1002 22,000 kV motors. Let's see what it do. Where are the rest of the batteries? Okay, I have just enough. Here we go. I wonder what version this is on. Cool. Here we go. Meteor 75 airframe. RCN Power 1002 22,000s. Gemfan 1610s. Bi-blades. BetaFPV. Meteor 75 AIO. Which is the F4 5 amp cross style AIO. And then it's that Meteor 75 canopy camera. This is the CO3 camera. Oh god, what was that? It's something sounded awful. Yeah, that's this build. BT 2.0, of course. And this is on the BetaFPV blue and white 450 batteries. So these motors are super interesting, right? It's a big motor. It's a 1002, right? And so the motor has the grunt to speed up and slow down the propellers really, really well. So the PID loop works really well. It feels pretty good. The problem with these motors is they're too low of a kV to get that nice burst of power at the top of the throttle. And so you just have to like sit it at full throttle and wait, which I'm not used to. I'm used to being able to just blip full throttle and get like a good burst of power, but not with these motors. You gotta just hammer it to full throttle and like leave it for a half a second. And I mean, it picks up, it gets there. Like it does eventually get going fast enough where you can do fun stuff. The best example of this is the Mega Power Loop. Ready? Just listen. Hear how long I had to be on full throttle for that? I ended up overshooting it and going too high, but... And then the other thing that happens, you just saw a big hit of prop wash. It will not prop wash at slower speeds, like you saw there. But if you get it going really fast, again, the kV is so low that it just doesn't have enough. It can't spit the thrust out fast enough to overcome like how fast it's going when like. In this specific example, when I'm doing the Mega Power Loop. So yeah, these motors are really good for cruising outside. It's a nice big wide motor, 5-to-1 ratio, right? 1002 to 246-810. So these motors are great for like putting the nose down and just blasting around the yard. The motors will stay nice and cool. You'll get great throttle resolution because they don't make that huge explosion of power. So yeah, that's my favorite thing to do with this rig, is just to sit it at like 50-60% throttle outside and just rail it around. It's really, really, really fun to do that with. So yeah, if you've got some like 22,000 kV 1002s, you'll see what I mean. Go do that flight style with them rather than like what I'm doing in the basement here, and they'll shine. That's what they do really, really well. All right, we're getting towards digital rigs now. This is another analog rig though. Digital. Oh yeah, hey, I was flying yesterday, and this is the Meteor 75 Pro that I put together. Either the VTX, either the MO3 VTX, or the BetaFPV Cross F4 AIO are dying on this thing. When I dig into the throttle, the VTX damn near drops out. So I have an extra one of these VTXs with the camera and canopy. I'm just going to solder this on, and that'll tell me whether or not it's the VTX or the AIO. Hopefully it's the VTX, but I have a feeling it's the AIO that's dying on this thing, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I've heard so many racers complaining about the BetaFPV cross-style AIO. It's kind of not surprising that it seems to have let go, but we'll see. Maybe not. You never know. Oh no! Hey, here's another. The last analog rig we're gonna fly is gonna be the insane one. But before we go there, here's a RC drift car chasing rig. I just swapped this over to a Cinewhoop pinch cam. Get a load of the wide angleness here. This is I didn't expect it. It's been a long time since I ran one of those pinch cams, and I forgot how wide angle they really are. This is going to be interesting. I'm super excited to run this with the RC drift cars. I think that it's too wide angle, but I also think that it might give an amazing sense of speed. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. This is another AIO that's... Oh, no. Okay, good. This is an AIO that's on 3.0. That's awesome. I like that. But the rig that I was just flying was on 2.5. It needs to be updated. Okay, so first and foremost, you can see the barrel of the lens in the corners there. Ain't that some shit? This might actually be one of the ultra-wide pinch cams. Like, between 0 up tilt and the wide angle, when I fly this thing, I flew like 1 battery last night, I'll just stop. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And sometimes just like that, I'll actually start going backwards. This is crazy. This is a crazy rig to fly at 0 up tilt with this much wide angle. I really kind of think that this might be one of the super wide angle Cinewhoop pinch cams, because like this is just outrageous. This is so wide. And Jesse actually talks about how on the super wide angle version you can see the corners, the barrels of the lens itself. I'm still gonna try it though. It could be interesting. But yeah, like look at the. Hold on, let me try to get it. Ooh, wow, it is very disorienting. Try to get it low to the ground. Look at the sense of speed. I'm going very slow right now. But like you still, there's like a lot that's whizzing by you. This is hard to fly. Oh boy. Ah! Man, look at the gates. Look at the barrel distortion with the gates. Like the gate looked like a trapezoid a second ago. Ready? Look at the gem fan gate. Look how weird that gate looks. Isn't that crazy? In theory, what this will... Man, it is so hard. It's so hard to keep it going forward. Woo, boy, it just wants to back up, yo. I mean, great setup to practice flying backwards, though, I guess. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. Come on, get me out of here. Yeah, if you wanted to practice flying backwards, I highly recommend this setup. This basement is a little bit too busy to really practice flying backwards, but... Okay. We'll stop flying backwards. Look how big this room looks, man. Right? It makes this room look gigantic. Look at the wow! I never noticed that. That is wild. Yeah, you can just like cruise really slow. And it just looks crazy, but it just keeps wanting to stop. Come on, go forward. Go forward. Keep going forward. Stop stopping. Stop stopping. Go forward. Wow, what a crazy looking camera. Pretty sure this is the ultra wide. Oh my God. Super hard to fly. Alright, the battery's dead. Good, good, good. Alright, awesome. So there you go. That's one of the analog drift car chasing rigs. This one has 0702 30,000 kV motors. So this is one of the ones that has crazy throttle resolution. Man, that camera is something else. Jeez. It is on the newest version, which is great. Last, but obviously not least, is the 16 gram 40,000 kV rig. All right. Let's see if I can do any better tonight than I did the other night. Oh my God! Did I just Stevie Wonder that whole battery? I think I might have. Pinch is giving early 2000s skate video fisheye. I guess I didn't. HDZero pinch cam. Woo! Oh man, that is so much better. Okay. Back to. Okay. No, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Don't you do it! Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Stop flying away. Stop it. All right, hold on. Let's pull the tune down a little bit. Oh, God, the tune is already pulled down. Yikes. Well, the battery has sagged a little bit. Nope. Nope. It's still angry. Don't drive angry. Okay, let's try that. Oh! 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 Careful! Easy! Ooh! Jesus Christ. Is this battery just junk or what? Bouncing up to 374, 375, 376. Oh man, this thing is all right, this battery is just junk. Hold on. Hold on. Let's put a non-mangled battery on here. Hopefully. A lot of these batteries are mangled, but let's see. Woo! I think this this camera mount is also... Oh yeah, it's definitely a higher up tilt than I'm used to. So that's not helping. But... Oh my god. Oh! Ooh! Oh. Whew. Oh. Careful. Ooh! Oh my god, it's right here. Just reach over and grab it. Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa! What's happening? The camera is very not straight. What the shit happened here? Okay, this camera completely... So, this is a CO2 camera. The older Betaflight camera, and it has rotated horrendously in the mount. These G-string camera mounts are awful. They just continue to be crap. And so, yeah, this thing needs a different camera mount. This is ridiculous. All right, the camera is somewhat flat again. Let's. Oh boy! Oh my god! This thing is cruising around at 13% throttle. That ain't right. Jesus. Oh my god, this is not a realistic build. What the hell? Oh my god, what the fuck is happening now? Oh my god, come on, please. Oh, please! Really? 40,000 kV motors and you're 16 grams and you can't fucking turtle mode back over? Woo! I'm not good enough for this rig. Oh my god! Oh, fuck. One of the things that makes it really hard to fly is how low the hover point is, and there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about that. That is because these motors are absurdly high kV, and the rig is absurdly light. Yeah, I mean, it's like the throttle is either on or off. There's no like, there's no sweet. Jesus fucking Christ. 14% idle. I mean, I guess. Wow, this is ridiculous. Oh, the throttle mid is way wrong. Why is the throttle mid so wrong? What the hell? Yeah, this thing is all over the place. There's some. This needs. I think this might need a legitimate black box PID tune. It's just so much motor and so little weight. Yeah, this needs some love. This is. I'm gonna cook this. So this is the new BetaFPV 5-in-1, and I'm gonna light that damn thing on fire if I keep flying this like it is. So I'm gonna stop flying this, and it's gonna get a little bit of Betaflight lovin'. I'm at the very least gonna put it on 4.5 and then do Brandon's magical thing. CMYK says, I feel like the pinch style lens would be great for B-roll though. Kind of love the super wide look. Not sure I'd want to fly it though. Yeah, it might be fun for B-roll. Tough to fly though. But yeah, that was the Betaflight CO2 for whoever was asking about that camera earlier. We are now into the digital stuff. That is not all of the analog stuff that I have, but all of the stuff that I'm willing to fly right now. Now we're going to go over to some digital stuff, and then we will wrap it up. Good God, is it late already? We're not going to do a Patreon-only live stream, that's for sure. Cool. So these can rest. I've only got the one HDZero build, so we will fly that first, and it'll also give me a chance to test out the little, the cool little setup that I've got for putting HDZero into these live streams, which is pretty cool. I do need a battery though, so let's just steal that from Walksnail. And so the HDZero build is 40,000 kV motors, I think, right? Yeah, 40,000 kV 702s. It ended up being kind of heavy. I saw somebody today who claimed that they had their, and they showed a picture of it on a scale. They had this build down to 17.1 grams. That is 4 grams lighter. It was still on 0702s. It was on a light AF frame, and it didn't have this canopy, but like 4 grams lighter is way, way, way too much. I don't think that scale is working properly, or he had his finger on the scale when he teared it out or something like that. Because yeah, you can't, you're not going to find 4 grams over this. Like, yes, this canopy is a little bit heavy, but it ain't that heavy. Yes, this V3 frame is a little bit heavier than the light AF, but it ain't that much heavier. So I don't know what's going on there. That seemed super suspect. Welcome to Facebook, though. You know, let's do it. HDZero Freestyle build. No, hold on. Let's get this Elgato capture card plugged in. That's going to make the stream run like ass, but just bear with me. And then I just need to plug this battery in here. And now that should be running. Come over to here, and we're going to turn off the analog and turn on. Look at that. And now, if I'm on the right channel, it should just work. Right? I'm not on the right channel. I'm on R1. How do I change the channels on this thing? Rocker switch, maybe? There we go. 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Please be there. Oh, shit! Look at that, yo! HDZero on the live stream. What a time to be alive. Alright, come on, ELRS. Link up. There it is. 40,000... HDZero goggles are frozen. I'm going to have to send these goggles in for repair at some point. It's like... It's about 30% of the time that I turn the goggles on and they freeze. Man, do they take some time to start up, too. We just arm it to get some airflow. I'll fly it from OBS, whatever. Oh my god, they froze again. I might be flying this rig through OBS. If these goggles won't start working. Well, I mean, the latency's not that bad in OBS. It's pretty bad. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really hard to fly it through OBS. Oh my god, the goggles might work this time. Please. Please work. Please, extremely expensive HDZero goggles. Please work. They're just a black screen. That's not good. Okay. So do I, is this real life? Do I have to go into the menu every single time I use these goggles and tell them to scan? Because thus far, that's been my experience. Goggles are now finally working. And the battery's dead. So this is a 21 gram dry. What's on the floor here? What's that? What are you? Oh, it's a glow-in-the-dark sticker. Yeah, this is a 21 gram, 40,000 kV 0702 HDZero AIO 5 rig. Super, super impressive from a latency standpoint and from just like a straight up flyability standpoint. This is awesome. The AIO is also very low noise. I can tell because I've got mega powerful motors on here. And, yeah, it's not doing anything really weird. Woo! I can definitely feel the weight. A 21 gram 65 millimeter rig is quite different from 16 to 17 to 18 grams. But it's a whole hell of a lot better than the Walksnail 25, 26 gram rigs. That's for damn sure. Maybe they're not that heavy, but in terms of like flying freestyle, this is so much more realistic than trying to fly freestyle on a Walksnail 65. It sounded like something was in the props. I just want to check it out real quick. This battery's about done, though. Come to think of it. What was in the props? Nothing? Nothing? Nothing. Alright, it's fine. Okay, let's throw another battery through this. I think I have just enough batteries. Oh, it's show... That's interesting. In my goggles, it's 4x3, but for you guys, it's 16x9. What's that about? Maybe there's a setting in the goggles to output a different aspect ratio. That's kind of wild. I would not expect that. Does it look like it's super wide? For you guys, like, does it look like the aspect ratio is wrong, like it's stretching? What's going on? Why is it not? Oh, wow, that takes a while to... I still got nothing in the goggles. What the hell is going on? Okay. Let's power cycle it. Maybe it's just angry? Hopefully. I got nothing in the goggles. What the hell, dude? Okay. Hold on, let me check this battery. Nope, battery's fully charged. Okay. Let's try it again. Not a whole hell of a lot I can do, just keep putting power to it and taking power away from it. Antenna still plugged in? Yeah, antenna's still plugged in. Anything? I guess maybe I'll try power cycling the goggles. Low power until first arm. Nope, that ain't it. As you can hear, I was just flying it. Scan now. Oh, okay. Apparently the quad has... What? The quad changed its channel to race 1. What the fuck? Okay. Oh man, something's going on. The ELRS just let go. All right. Let's try again. Okay, yeah, it changed its own channel. I didn't want it to do that, but I'm gonna put it back up onto race 8. Oh no, it's doing the same thing as... What the hell? Low band? No, what are you doing? What is this doing, dude? Hopefully you guys now have video. There we go. What the hell, dude? This is weird. Is this what HDZero is like? Because if it is, this is going to get old fast. Hopefully this is just... Well, now it's stuck in the menu. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's reboot it again. HDZero is not like this, is it? Like, this is... This is only like the 3rd battery I've ever flown on it. It better not be like this. This is ridiculous. ELRS, what the hell? You were bound a minute ago. What are you... What... It's getting too hot. There it goes. Wow. Jesus. Okay. And now this battery is almost completely dead. Man, I'll tell you what. The latency feels great. I'm about to have a rude latency awakening in a minute when I start flying Walksnail. This is so freestyleable. The only thing that's not super freestyleable about this is the weight. The weight is the only thing holding this back. If somehow this was like 3 grams lighter, we would not need 2G4s anymore. This is incredible. This really has made it so obvious that one of the big problems with the Walksnail rigs from a freestyle standpoint is the latency. It's certainly also the weight, but this thing is heavy, right? Like, this thing is half the way weight-wise between the analog rigs and the Walksnail rigs, and yet, I mean, like, look, look, I was not looking at where I was going, I was looking at where I wanted to go. Like, look at the difference you're about to see. I'll fly the 40,000 kV Walksnail rig next. Yeah, really impressive stuff. I'm so blown away by the difference that latency makes. It really does make sense though, because like I remember this from when I first went over to ELRS. Unfortunately, that's all I can really do for HDZero. When I went over to Express LRS, I started flying a lot better from FR Sky. And it was just the latency. It was just the latency. It was with flying inside. Everything is happening so fast that you really need that lower latency. You really do need it. It's not like a want thing. It's a need thing. And when you don't have it, it makes everything a lot more difficult. And so, yeah, there you go with that. Now we're going to switch over to Walksnail. And I've said it a whole bunch of times. Walksnail turns these tiny whoops into little tiny Cinewhoops. And that's fun. It's a tool for a specific kind of job. You go out gorilla whooping, guess what? You're not going to be hammering like hard freestyle. You're going to be cruising around in like a cool spot that you couldn't fly with any other FPV quad, right? So it's totally fine that we lose a bunch of the freestyle ability with these Walksnail builds, because what we gain is 1080-60 flight footage, which is outrageously cool. And so that's where we're going next here. First up is going to be the 65mm Freestyle build as like a total head-to-head. This is pretty much the exact same build. Same frame, slightly heavier frame, V3, Cockroach V3 frame, but then, well, no, I guess there's a bunch of it that's different. It is quite different. Different frame, same motors, same props, different frame, different canopy, obviously different camera. The rig that we were just flying, I'm sorry, it is very similar. Same canopy. Obviously a different camera. The HDZero rig we were just flying is 20.9 grams. The Walksnail rig we're about to fly is 25.3 grams. So 4.4 grams of additional weight. Unfortunately, the amount of additional weight that we've now added, it's just kind of too much. Like this just goes over the limit as to like where you need to be in terms of like hardcore freestyle. But also, we're now gonna gain like 25 milliseconds of latency, which for me on the sticks is very noticeable. For you guys, you might not notice it at all. Actually, you will notice it. You will see me start to fly like a buffoon. What happened? Why did it just blink out like that? There it is. Man, this cable is junk. Here we go. Walksnail 65mm freestyle rig. So the hover point is way higher. Oh, wow, this battery is like done. Watch this. See how low this battery is sagging? 3.3, 3.6. Watch this. Watch it bounce back. 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.84, 3.85. This is an old shitty battery. But I don't have another battery charged, so we're just going to run this battery into the dirt. There is just there's such a difference in like oh, I was in horizon mode. I was gonna say, boy, does this fly bad. Much better now. But my confidence level is completely different from the change in from the additional latency. You can still do stuff, and you can still fly it, and it's still fun, But boy, trying to do like big impressive stuff is way harder. The weight does not help that any. This is a rough combination. A bunch of extra weight and a bunch of extra latency. Those two things together are tough. And you can see like a lot of the snappiness is kind of... okay, and that's me running the battery down too low and then going full throttle. And it sags so hard that the Walksnail VTX browns out and shuts off. Ooh, that battery is at 3.6. I can maybe fly it home. But yo, 1080 60. Come on. 1080 60 frames a second. You can take this video all day long and put it up into Instagram Reels, and people will go, oh my god, how the hell did you just fly a camera through a gap that small? Yeah, this battery is shot to shit. This is an older Cinewhoop battery. It's just too old. Too old. There you go. That's all the 65mm rigs that I'm gonna fly tonight. This is what I was flying at the West Coast Swing thing. So we're gonna I'm gonna show you this at the end of the stream. But I'm not gonna fly it. We are going to jump to 75mm rigs. This is the 1S 75mm Walksnail rig with the BetaFPV 1102 22,000s on it. We'll blast this thing around real quick like. Shockingly, this doesn't really get much extra runtime versus the 65mm rig that we were just flying. The 75mm frames and props and all that stuff, they're just big. They're just big and they're heavy. And on a you really need like to go up to a 550 mAh battery, but then they get even heavier, and then your power to weight ratio really starts to suffer. So it's 75mm rigs are very tough. Yeah, so it's just like constant. Fuck you, you dirty rat whore. 75mm rigs are just like full throttle all the time. Oh, of course. Of course, the cable has effed me. All right, here we go. So now we're even heavier. This thing is fun to fly outside, though. It's a super duper cruiser. You gotta really, yeah, it just, the 1102 motors are nice and big, so they stay nice and cool. So you can just, like, put the nose down like this and just blast this thing around. And it just digs it. I really wish they would make these motors in a higher kV. This motor, this 1102, in like a 25,000 kV would be so much better. Although then it would start to really eat this battery up. Like, really? Wow. Yeah. Like, these motors make... Oh, wow. What's happening there? I don't know why I ran into the couch. Apparently I thought it would move, I guess. I don't know. Woo! Jesus. I'm really surprised at how noticeable the difference in latency is. Like, it's, don't get me wrong, it's completely flyable. It's just like when you start to try to do really hard stuff, that's when you start to notice it. But like just flying this thing around, this is totally fine. There's like, I do not notice the latency when I'm doing this kind of stuff. I definitely don't notice it when I'm flying it outside, but when I start to do these like really technical things, right? Matty flips, power loops, where it's getting like really close to everything, that's when it It's difficult. Come on now. Tell me that you guys didn't have video that entire time. Let me check something. Frame rate is on high. Good. Yeah, so this is... Yeah, frame rate and bit rate are on high. So yeah, I mean, that's all we can really do. Like, that is the lowest possible latency that this system has to give. And yeah, it's usually around 25 to 30 to 35 megabits per second. When I fly outside, it goes a little bit higher. In here, since we're like right on top of everything, it's pretty low, but it's still it's 15, 20, 25 extra milliseconds over HDZero, and that's a lot. Like, you absolutely notice that. Last but obviously not least is the 2S Walksnail 75mm build, now on big ass BetaFPV 1102 18 or 19,000s, I forget. Last rig we're gonna fly. Thanks for hanging, friends. Sorry this ran so long, but yeah, a lot of stuff to do tonight. You guys had a lot of good questions. I've been kind of ignoring the chat because I haven't really seen it. I haven't really seen any orange. Lost the last 5 seconds. Cool. That is totally acceptable. I gotta figure out a way to get the batteries to stay in these in this setup. The batteries keep spitting out the front. Nate Adams says, that is not normal and super weird. I'm flying HDZero Whoop for Race Scout 3 right now. Nice. All right, good. Cheatonian says, no, HDZero isn't usually like this. Good. Good. All right, 2S, yo. We got video over there? We got video. Why does this feel so weird right now? Hold on. As you can hear, the noise level has gone up quite a bit. Okay, yeah, there it is. So there are the 1102s being big beastly bastards. Oh my god. Is there something going on with the rates here? It feels like the rates are really... Oh, it's this, this right... Every once in a while, this right gimbal starts acting up. There it goes. Now it's fine. I gotta replace this right gimbal on this transmitter. Oh, yo. That was effortless. Usually, like, almost always, to do that giant power loop, I have to hammer full throttle. On the more powerful rigs, I kind of only have to blip full throttle. I just did that mega power loop with like 75% throttle. Yo, yeah. 2S is just a whole different thing. It's much less of a tiny whoop and more just an... Oh. Whoa, that hit hard. This is much less of a tiny whoop and more of just a regular FPV rig. Hover point's a little low, it feels. But these motors make a lot of power, so that'll probably get handled when I go down to the 1002s. I have a funny feeling that the... Oh, Jesus. The T-Motor 1002s are going to be the jam for this rig. This is not an indoor rig, though. My God, both of those hits sounded like I hit the wall with a fucking sledgehammer. Even though this is lighter than the 1S rig, the 1S rig doesn't have any power. So, like, when the PID loop fires up because I bumped into something... Oh, Jesus Christ. The 1S rig will not go skyrocketing across the room, whereas this will. So yeah, this is absolutely not an indoor rig in any way, shape, or form. This is sketchy. And those really hard collisions are going to beat the hell out of this frame. And this camera system and like everything else that's on here. So yeah, not an indoor rig. It has also spit the battery out, as it does. And so yeah, I gotta figure something out. This thing, like, the first time you crash it, it spits the battery out the front or the back, and then you got a dangly battery. I might have had that dangly battery the entire time. But man, it is just so powerful on 2S, and the runtime is really good. The runtime is not nearly as good on these 1102s. I will say that. I've definitely noticed the runtime has gone down quite a bit, but these motors make a ton of power. Like, these are crazy powerful motors. So yeah, that tracks. There you go, friends. There is me flying 1, 2, 3. Didn't get to fly that one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10 quads in one live stream. And I did my best to kind of talk you through them and highlight some of the things about them, and hopefully give you a feel for, you know, what you should build. If your flight style is this is what you should build. If your flight style is that is what you should build. That is one of the biggest goals that I've got as a full-time FPV donkey, is to educate you all enough so that you stop asking questions like, what's the best set of motors for a 75mm rig, right? That is like my dream. And like, one by one, when you guys figure that stuff out and you stop asking those questions, like, that's awesome. I love that so much. I love that that you guys are actually able to learn this stuff, because it's hard. It's hard to learn this, and it's hard to understand which prop does what best, which motor makes the most sense for a rig that's 22 grams versus 18 grams. Versus 25 grams. And so, yeah, as you guys figure this stuff out, I just get more and more impressed. A couple of really big hits, but it looks fine. This is a fairly new frame, and I don't have any of those crease marks starting on it. Oh, I do need to show you guys this, though. If you're going to do this 2S build and use a Mobula 7 V4 frame, you are going to have to bust out the Dremel and Dremel this big-ass notch into the frame so that you can plug into the AIO. So this is the Mobula 7 V4 frame here that you're going to have to do that. This is the Mobula 7 V3 frame, and if you see, they have notched the duct out on the inside here, and you don't have to do that. You don't. On the V3 frame, you're able to plug directly in there. Why I really like the V4 frame is the battery sits much higher in the canopy. Look at the difference between these two frames. See, the duct height is different. Look at the top of the duct. Look at the bottom of the duct. This battery is pushed way farther down. Look at the bottom of the of where the motors mount. You see that? So the V4 frame has a much lower center of gravity than the V3. See that difference? What's interesting, though, is that on the V4 frame, the props swing damn near above the ducts. On the V3 frame, I've actually got those little risers in here. I've got those little BetaFPV risers to lift these motors up enough that the props won't hit the supports. And yeah, so there's that. You see the riser there? Of course you don't, because Logitech sucks a bag of dicks. There you go. You can kind of see that riser in there. Not the end of the world to have to run that riser, but yeah, you do not have to run the riser on the 803s, because 3mm tall stator lifts this propeller up enough, and the prop swings perfectly around the duct. So yeah, I don't know. On one hand, I kind of hope that the sub 250 803s are the jam, because then I can run the V3 frame with no risers, and that's just kind of cool. But I don't know. We'll see. More testing is needed. Can I get a channel says really wow really thanks you're welcome I think I'm not sure what we're talking about but Matthew Connor says I'm pretty sure they corrected the freezing issue in the latest firmware update. Awesome. Love that. Cheetonian says we lost the last 5 seconds. Let me make sure I didn't miss any chat tags here. Goggles firmware from August. Cheetonian says Dronester says you jumped some questions apparently. CMYK said, no, we got that. Uriel says, I also look at your GT session. The Z8 was nice. I did a GT7 VR, PSVR 2 live stream last night, which is what Uriel's referring to. It looks like Dronester might have asked a question, but he didn't tag me. Dronester says, can you tell me all possible or main reasons for a drone/whoop to be drifty on turns? Yes, it's too heavy. I keep smashing walls when turning while flying quick. The more ideas you can throw to me, the happier I will be. It's too heavy. It doesn't have prop guards. And this is the one that hurts the most, but it's the main problem, is that you're not an experienced enough pilot yet. The better you get as a pilot, the more you can handle that momentum. That's the easiest answer for me to give is get good, scrub. Every single racer deals with this problem. Racing rigs are very slidey in the corners, and they have to put tons of roll in to get them to go around corners. That's like, it's one of the reasons I don't like racing, is because I hate flying like that. And so, yeah, it's mainly a pilot problem. As you get better at flying, you will get better at handling that momentum and keeping it from bashing into stuff. That is very difficult. The ways that you can help it on the rig are to lower the amount of weight and basically make it less aerodynamic. The more aerodynamic it is, from a side profile like this, the more it's just going to slide around. You take it, you're flying it straight, you turn, and it just keeps sliding. Because look, there's nothing there's not nothing, but there's not a lot to block the air. You got all this air that's just going to whiz by on top. You got like a bunch of air over here that's just going to barely graze the propeller, but then it's just going to go whizzing right by it, right? Like, this is fairly slippery from an aerodynamic standpoint. So it's just going to keep sliding. You're going to turn it and it's going to keep sliding. This is why the racers, they don't turn like this. They don't turn in a cinematic way that looks good. They roll like crazy. So they come into the corner, they roll like crazy, and now they blast thrust. And so they send all this thrust out, and that kills that momentum. If you corner flat like you're flying cinematic to make the footage look good, it's just going to keep sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding. You have to do that. You have to roll into the corner to be able to send thrust to deal with all that extra momentum. Or you build a Cinewhoop that has big-ass pieces of plastic so that when you turn sideways, all of that wind hits this brick wall and it slows down on its own and starts going forward. You still do have to kind of turn it. What's interesting with Cinewhoops is if you come and you corner and you turn it like this, you just lost all of that advantage that this gave you. So it's weird. Like with Cinewhoops, you kind of have to you fly like this anyway because you can't be losing the horizon all over the place. The director will fire your ass. You kind of send it like this and then just wait. And I can't believe I just said send it. I apologize to anyone that's not ultra cool that had to hear me say send it. My sincerest apologies. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself, if I'm being completely honest with you. But so yeah, worse aerodynamic situation, lighter weight, right? The less weight, the less momentum it has. Other than that, you just got to learn to fly better. Racers are the best FPV pilots in the world, for good reason. It's outrageously difficult to make these things change directions very accurately. And so, yeah, there you go. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Oh yeah, I missed a bunch. Read above. You'll want to transition to the new web-based configuration soon. Brandon says, Thrash FPV says, how often do you break cameras? Not very often. Hits that aren't even hard have sent at least 8 cameras into gray screen by now. I can't remember the last time I broke a camera. You got to make sure the camera's not smashing into something. If you've, I don't know if I've broken 8 cameras in the last couple of years. So yeah, check your mounting. There's something going on. The camera is hitting something, and that's breaking the camera. Cheetonian says, unfortunately, the only Nano 3s that can be found right now are the Emax ones. Yeah, it's really hard to find them. Kevin the Alien says, I'll be testing 2 RCN 3 variants, both X lens. Very cool. One that's just plain and the other from the Nanohawk. You'll see a big difference. And last comment of the live stream, because I think I'm now caught up, is from it's Gito OMG. Have you flown the Achilles 16? If so, thoughts on it, and what PID tune would be? I have not. I'm not even sure what that is, so I'm gonna have to look it up. Oh, that thing. Okay. Super beginner builds. It's going to be very heavy. This is kind of like a, I want to buy a an Avata, but I want to practice before putting $1,000 up in the air. So yeah, this is going to be, yeah, this is just an Avata trainer as far as I'm concerned. Little tiny 1102 18th, oh my god, 1102 18,000 kV motors. So the power to weight ratio is going to be awful. It has to be super heavy. I'm looking for a weight on it. It wouldn't be surprising if they didn't put a weight because it's just so heavy. I would hide it too. Oh, there it is. Whoa, 72.5 grams all up. Oh, whoa. So yeah, this is an Avata trainer. That's the nicest thing that I can say about this rig. Incredibly underpowered, incredibly heavy. But yeah, if you want something to cheaply try to learn to fly in Avata, right? Like, this is $250 with goggles and a transmitter. Not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea to spend a bunch of time with a $250 setup before you put, $1,000, $1,100 up in the air. So this thing totally has its place, but this is not going to fly like a real FPV rig. This is going to fly like an Avata or like a Neo. Oh man, BetaFPV is never going to sell another one of these because the Neo is only $200. Boy, I hate to say this, but I don't think anybody should buy this over the Neo. That's not true. That's not true. For $250, you get goggles, transmitter, and the quad. The Neo is $200 for just the quad. You can fly it with your phone, but you can't FPV it from your phone, right? I mean, you kind of can, but you don't have the headset. Ooh, man, this is tough. This is a tough sell. It is tough to justify $250 when you can get a Neo for $200. You can fly it from your phone. You can use the tracking stuff that's built in, and then eventually you can spend $500 on O3 goggles. But see, then that's where this starts to kind of make sense a little bit. Is that $200 for the Neo, $500 for the goggles that work with it, and then I think it's another 100 for the transmitter, right? So the Neo all in, you're at like $700, $800, $900, whereas all in with this, you're at $250. So yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on the Aquila 16. Thanks for hanging, my friends. Wait, hold on. Let me check the... Kevin the Alien says it has proprietary batteries. Yeah, it's that's why, that's one of the reasons I'm comparing it to the Avata and the Neo. Is that, yeah. So that's what I think of it. It's a trainer. It's a trainer rig. Islander says, super helpful watching you fly these. Thank you. Awesome. I was hoping for that. I was hoping it wasn't just my way of dialing. Although I meant to dial some of these tunes in a little bit more, but it got kind of late and I just sort of rushed through some stuff. It's 1:20 in the morning. Go to sleep, you dirty bastards. I love you. Friday at 7 Eastern. I'll see you then. I don't know what we'll do. Bye. I'm not ready. Here's some more farting around, flying around people. Here's the 75mm rig. Flying around some dancers. Here you go. Be good, friends. I'll see you Friday. Hope you have an awesome Thursday.